Oh, sorry, just plugging in my laptop.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. We are all set. Hi, good morning. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment consider applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to survey property to create new lots. So my name is Yim Chen. I will be chairing today's meeting, and I'd like to also introduce our panel members today. To my left is Ms. Lasilla West, and to my right, Mr. Douglas Wilkins, and also Philip Goss. Our secretary, our deputy secretary treasurer today is Sabrina Salaptino. And I would also like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anasazi, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid, in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submission in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meeting will also stream on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wish to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually have registered in advance will be connected with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When the item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when the item is being called. During that time, your camera will be enabled, and you will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. All other times, your video will be disabled, and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist's control until during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. How to receive a decision of the committee. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of decision of committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because the Committee of Adjustment and also the Toronto Local Appeal Body, the TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act January removed rights of third parties to appeal committee adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and specified persons and public bodies, such as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the committee adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. And now I will read out the hearing procedure. The procedure is I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. When making your submission, when an applicant is untested, the agent or applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are advised the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I will comment when you're reaching your 5 minutes. Any presentation or other material you wish to submit to the committee must have email in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept material at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matter outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised and to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the applications are informed of the changes. Then individual each in support, either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we will call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee member may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that are raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of discussion. The application will then be taken into the committee for decision. And now we have some housekeeping business. Do we have minutes to confirm for the?
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. Yes, we have the minutes ready for adoption from the June 12th and June 19th hearings of this year.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt those? Yeah.
I'll move a motion to adopt those minutes.
Yes, a second. Yeah, Mr. Gosford, all in favor? Oh, I can't see. Okay, all in favor, yeah. And do we, for this morning session, I think it's item 1 to 17. Do we have a conflict of interest to declare from the staff and also from our panel members?
I will be recusing myself from item number 5 due to a past professional matter.
Okay. Item number 5. Yeah. Do we have any deferral requests?
Through you, Madam Chair, for the morning session, we don't have any files that need to be closed. Just want to put that as public record.
Yes.
Yes, for deferral, we do have one deferral request, and that's for item number 1059 BOULTBEE Avenue, file number A0412/24TEY. So we could probably deal with that matter at this time.
Yes. Do we have the applicant or the agent or the owner?
Through you, Madam Chair, we will unmute the agent. We also have 2 registered speakers, so we'll have to hear from them as well.
Yes.
On the basis of the deferral request.
Yes, yes. So we have the, we have contacted the other speakers, so let's have the agent then,
Yep.
please, yeah.
Do you have Michael? No Michael? Okay, through you, Madam Chair, we don't have the agent online as of yet, so maybe we'll just start with item number 1.
Okay.
And then come back to this
Go
item,
back,
okay?
yeah, we have, yeah, exactly. Okay. Item number 1 is 3 Courcelette Avenue. The purpose of this application is to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a complete first floor addition. And they are looking for 5 variances. And also for this file, we have received a copy of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the property, 8 photographs of the adjacent properties, and cover letter from the agent, 3 protection plan from the applicant, and we have comments from Urban Forestry and advisory from Metrolinx, and also we have support from two addresses. One from Courcelette, the other one is Winona Drive.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent here in person. We do have 1 speaker in support online. I believe it's part of the owners.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, but we probably don't have to hear from them if you're speaking on behalf of them?
Registered, just so she's available to answer questions.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yes, and thank you for coming. But since you do not have any opposition, and do you, I want to check with the panel whether they want to have a presentation or where we.
No, for me.
Since you're here, will you like to address the panel, something that you would like to address the panel before we move it into discussion?
Well, I guess basically reiterating and repeating what we said in our application, that we're requesting variances so that there can be more space for the family for home office, and 2 bedrooms and multi-generation family, and that the other half of the house is built with 3 stories in the first place, and that neighbor is completely in support of the whole addition and is going to help in whatever way they can, and that the whole neighborhood has many examples of new buildings and additions, and so it won't be an unusual addition to the neighborhood. If everyone's already looked at the photographs, maybe you don't want to go through them.
I do have one question, though. I sort of know the answer, but I'd like you to speak to it, is that you have very little rear yard soft landscaping. And I sort of understand it, but then would you like to speak to the panel why it is so small, the amount of soft landscaping?
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to push it. Yeah, well, it is small, definitely, and because the outside area is easier to use with the deck, it has a deck on it, and that's why there's a deck in part of the area, and then they have planters, but it's definitely,
It's
it
the
has-
best you can do, right? Or is it
Yeah,
the
it's really
existing one? You're not reducing the existing amount?
We're
or
not
is it-
changing anything in the backyard, yeah,
Yeah.
in the rear deck. And the front yard is all planting and the trees, yeah.
Okay. So any other questions? Yeah. So we do not have any more questions to you now. We are in committee now. Let's, okay, Ms. West.
Did you have any question?
No, I just had a brief comment, but
Yes,
were you going to?
please go ahead.
So, looking at the application, I had the sort of same thought that was raised, that the soft landscaping is the only variance that might cause concern, but I think the calculation included the driveway, included the garage, and there's, given the site constraints, it doesn't pose a concern, and none of the others pose a concern, so.
Second. And I think that it's also very close to the corner, right? It's the corner there. So
It's one house in from the corner.
yeah, one house at the corner, and then there's a lot of landscaping on the boulevard, on the city boulevard side, and, yeah, so,
That's right, there's a lot of landscaping.
yeah, okay. Ms. Watts, your
Yes?
turn. Yeah, yes.
Okay. If there's no other question from my colleague, so through you, Madam Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application subjected to urban forestry condition 1.
Yes. Anyone second? Mr. Wilkins seconds. All in favor? It's approved. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Okay. So we move to second item, or number 10 is come back? So we try number 10? No. Okay. So it's item number 2, is 35 Ashall Boulevard. This is to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling with a front integral garage and a north side covered porch with stairs, and a rear east side ground floor deck. On this file, we receive a copy of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, and revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and correspondence from the agent, and also arborist report from the applicant. Presentation material from the planner, and we received comment from Metrolinx. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the planner online. Is there anyone here in person that wishes to speak to this item? Item number 2, 35 Ashall Boulevard? See none? Okay, we will unmute the planner, and we don't have any registered speakers.
Okay.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Randall Dickey. I'm the authorized agent for the owner. My business address is 446-1111 Davis Drive, Newmarket.
Yeah. Since you do not have any opposition, I'm going to ask the panel whether they will need a presentation from you, or have questions for you. No.
I do have a question.
Yes, we do have a question for you. Go ahead. Mr.
So in this case, Metrolinx is not just giving an advisory, but they're asking us to impose a condition. I'm just wondering if you're aware of that condition and if you have any concerns about it.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, I am aware of it. It is an unusual one that I do not see very often. I have talked with my client, and they are agreeable. If it has to be registered on title, we will make those necessary arrangements.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we do not have any more questions. Do you have anything you want to address the panel before we discuss this case? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, if I could just remind the committee members that this is a corner lot with an unusual property configuration plus a corner rounding. I submitted a additional site plan to C of A staff on June the 25th. It shows the corner rounding. Because of the unusual lot configuration and the corner rounding, that really impacts a lot of the variance numbers numerically that are being requested.
Yes.
I think once the corner rounding is taken into account and the unusual configuration of the lot, all the 7 variances are supportable, and they're certainly explainable and understandable. I won't go through them. But I'd be more than pleased to address any question if there are any from committee members. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, yeah. Any,
No question.
okay, we are in committee now. Yeah, I sort of agree with the corner lot situation because it make it really irregular. The setbacks look like very tight, but and because it's also curved too. Like the corner is not like a, yeah, so. So, yeah, Mr. Goss.
Yeah, I would move to approve it. I think none of the variances are that, are too significant, and the proposal is very much in keeping with similar projects in the area that have, that you can see on the adjacent streets. So for that reason, I would move to approve it,
So, yes.
subject to the Metrolinx conditions.
Yeah, subject to Metrolink, yeah, the Metrolink. And Ms. West, second.
Through you, Madam Chair, that'll be the warning clause
Yeah.
for Metrolink?
Yes, that's, yeah. And Ms. West also second. All in favor? Approved with Metrolink's conditions, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, it's approved, yeah. Item number 3 is 173 Heath St East. This is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by enclosing the existing front covered porch and construct a covered front porch with stairs. We received a survey, site plan, floor plan elevations, revised site plan, floor plans, elevations, and also revised zoning notice. And one photograph of trees and cover letter from the agent, and also decision affecting the subject property. We also have community planning staff report. And let's have the agent or
Through you,
the
Madam Chair,
applicant.
we do have the agent online. No registered speakers for this item, just checking to make sure anyone in the room that wants to speak to this item?
Yes.
No, see none? Okay.
Yes.
Hello, agent, you've been unmuted?
Good morning, Committee, Madam Chair. My name is Sarush Kalusian from HSP Design.
Excuse, yeah,
We're having a bit of
Okay, fine.
feedback. Do you have two devices unmuted? If you can mute one of your devices?
Oh, I don't.
You're showing that you have 3 devices. Can you unmute or mute 2 and just use 1? And then we won't get any feedback. Let's try again. Hello?
Hi. There's another 2 left, you're saying?
it's the same, it's not very good, yeah. Can you speak to the mic, see whether we can hear you clearly now? Yeah.
Okay, let's try again.
Can you hear me now?
No, we still have this funny little squeaking echoes, yeah.
I don't see any other webinar hosts.
Okay, let's try again.
Should I try logging in again?
Maybe try using a different device. You have 3. Try another one just to make sure that we're not getting this feedback.
I only have my one computer, that's it. So I don't know where this feedback coming from.
Maybe turn all of them off and
Done.
turn
One
one
second.
on again.
I think I figured it out.
Okay, let's just proceed and see how awful this is. And
Okay.
then if we have to stop and move on to another item until he can,
It should work now.
Okay, that's perfect. If you can just speak a little bit louder as well. Let's try one more time. Hello?
Yes, hi.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. My name is Surush Kalustian. I'm the registered applicant from HSK Design, 1800A Avenue Road.
Yeah. Before you start, we noticed that you have a revised zoning notice. Can you go through the revision for us first? I think it's variance number 3 is revised, right? Okay.
Correct. So when we made the application, planning staff made a comment about the softscaping percentage in the front. So the change was to accommodate a little bit more softscaping so that we can maintain the original softscaping percentage that we had for the front yard.
Yes, just tell us the percentage and the square footage, please. Yeah.
Oh, so the existing soft landscaping area is 25.86 meters squared, which is at 29.7%. And the proposed soft landscaping area is 25.95 meters squared.
Yeah, that's the revised to 29.8%, right? 29.
Right.
Yeah, okay. We got that one. All right, so as you do not have any opposition, I'm going to see whether we require a presentation from you. Anyone want to have a presentation? Anyone has questions? Okay, we do not have any questions from a panel. Do you want to address the panel on anything before we move into discussion?
No, I think the variances and what we're proposing is pretty clear, self-explanatory, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if there are.
Yeah, and there's a staff report putting a condition is to tie to the site plan and the east-west elevations. You're aware of the condition, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, that's the only condition I see. Yes, Mr. Wilkins, yeah.
I'm happy to move a motion to approve. I took a look at the neighborhood. I see that there are already some enclosed porches in the neighborhood, so it looks as if it is in keeping. I don't see any kind of adverse impact, and individually and cumulatively, the numbers themselves are pretty small, so
Yes.
I don't see any adverse impact.
Okay, yeah, I agree, yeah. Does anyone second that motion?
And
Yeah.
subject to the condition of
Planning.
19 June 2024,
Yes,
and as amended by
Yeah.
the,
as amended agenda, yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. West, second? Yeah, amended agenda and the condition, all in favor? It's approved, thank you, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 4 is, just let me get number 4. Is 547 Arlington Avenue. This is to alter the existing 1.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 2-story addition with rear balcony, rear upper deck, rear lower deck, and a carport in front of the yard, in the front yard, and means it's a front yard parking space, and a front ground floor porch. On this, we receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and we'll have a revised site plan and a revised zoning notice, and an arborist report from the agent, and from also a report from president report from the agent, Toronto TRCA correspondent, and we have comments from transportation and staff report from within natural feature protection, urban forestry. And we received support from 545 and 549 Arlington Street. And we have also oppositions from, there's no address from, is from Chris Topic.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. I'm going to check, is there anyone here in person that wishes to speak to this item? See none? Okay, then we can unmute the agent.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My
Yes.
name's Noam Hazan. I'm the agent for 547 Arlington Avenue, and I'm located at 200 Fairbank Avenue in North York.
Okay. You were seeking nine variances, and also is there that you have a revised zoning notice? Are there any variances have been changed is on our agenda?
No, I think it was when we received at a later date the revised zoning notice, which I forwarded to the committee. But I don't think any of the items have actually changed. I think just the order of numbers were slightly different.
Oh,
So yeah, that's the one on June 4th exactly. Yeah, that's the one.
yes. Thank you. You do have a position. No, but there's no address. He submitted a letter, I think, but no speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, so both neighbours on either side of the house have letters of support.
Yes, we received that. But do you know what address is this, Mr. Chompik?
I believe he may be at 551 Arlington, which is 2 doors down to the left-hand side if you're looking, or to the north.
Yeah. So you have read his opposition letter?
So 551
Yeah.
is his address.
Do you want to speak to that briefly so we can understand?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of gone through each item. So just to clarify, there's an existing building permit already, and we are seeking minor changes or minor variances to that existing permit. The existing building is started to be built in construction, but some of these minor variances relate to the landscaping, such as the deck and the driveway, and those are elements that we'd like to request variances. I don't believe that any of the changes or any of the minor variances proposed really impact him any differently to what the existing permit, the existing permit that was approved. So that, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I don't think there's much to address on there unless there's any questions from the committee about that. But we believe that each of the variances are in accordance with the four main criteria. The house is very much in line with the neighborhood. There are lots of precedences we've been able to identify for each of the variances within that neighborhood. And I believe that the committee, I hope the committee will agree that these are also considered minor and within those variances.
Yes. Do you have any questions? I do have one. Yeah. You do. Yeah.
So on the whole, I think the project with the various variances is in keeping with what's in the neighborhood. It's taking what's sort of the smallest house on the street and not even making it the largest house on the street. But the one variance that I think is a little unique and potentially out of keeping, so I'd like you to address it, is variance number 4, the canopy into the front yard that's going to create a carport that goes pretty deep into the front yard. What's the sort of design intent or purpose or?
Yeah, so I can address that. So there's there are a couple of precedents in the neighborhood. There's one on Ave Road. In one of the, there is a precedent report that I submitted on the side. So there is one on Ave Road. There is also on the same street towards the beginning of the street. If you actually scroll right down to the bottom, there is a graphic. It was sort of cut off, but if you keep going, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, that one. So right at the far right of the screen, there is actually a garage, which is almost in line with the carport position. I would also say that the house on the street is located quite set back compared to some of the other houses. So we feel that there isn't so much impact to the street with this carport. One of the issues is obviously street parking is a concern here, and we do want to have ability to park in the front of the house and maintain coverage. There is another property on Ava Road where the carport is almost right at the lot line, which is down, very close to this location. And actually, personally, from an architectural perspective, I think it looks quite good. We've also tried to do as minimal kind of structure as possible to maintain, quite a light structure in the front of the house.
I have a question to you. Have you read the transportation is by email, June 26th? They actually recommend us to put condition on the application if we were going to approve.
Yeah,
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah, we've agreed to that. That's fine.
Okay.
My client has agreed to that.
So is, you understand what they're saying, right? Because they say that move it a little bit. I do not know how much, but I think, I believe you work with them and figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's my only question. Yeah, Ms. West.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, a question. My question is that this application earlier got forestry condition number 2, and then later no condition. I would like to know, did you modify anything in your design so that forestry had no condition afterwards?
So I think originally the arborist accidentally requested to remove the neighbor's tree. And then when the neighbor got that notice, my clients realized what happened and had gone to the neighbor and sort of rescinded that request. So from what I understand, we're not removing any trees now, and the neighboring tree is not going to be removed. So the original, I think it was tree 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, was originally requested for removal on the original document. If I'm not mistaken, that might be what you're referring to.
Okay, thank you.
But we're not removing any trees. Just to clarify, I think maybe tree 2 possibly, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the ones that were related to the first one are not being removed.
Okay, thank you.
And also TTC issued some of the conditions. It seems that you are required to have TTC permit or review, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's because we're quite close within the 60-meter development.
Yeah, so
Is
we're
that?
going to have include that as a condition. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we have no more questions. Now we are in committee. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. West? Yes.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with the condition of transportation mentioned in the email dated June 26, 2024, that the current parking pad be removed and the city boulevard be restored to soft landscaping. Also, any curb cut fronting this property is to be restored to a full facing curb at no expense to the city. That's a condition from transportation, and I also would like to add the condition of the TDC, which mentioned in the letter dated June 17, 2024, and I think there are 4 conditions in that letter, and that's the motion.
Yes. Anyone wants to second? Mr. Wilkins seconds. All in favor? 3 to 1. Miss dissent.
Yeah.
Philip Goss dissent. Yeah. Okay. Approved. Thank you. 3-1. Yeah. Then next item is item number 5 is 3293 Dundas Street West. This is to.
Sorry, through you, Madam
Okay.
Chair, we'll ask Member Gosh to leave the room because of the conflict for this one. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for reminding. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Goss declare conflicts. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll start over again. Is item number 5, 3293 Dundas Street West is to alter the existing 2-story mixed-use semi-detached building by constructing a complete first-story addition and the rear second and third floor balconies. The existing rear 1 and two-story additions will be demolished. And also, there will be one existing parking space, it's one parking space provided in the rear yard, and also there will be a commercial unit on the ground floor, 2 residential dwelling on the 2nd and 3rd floor. On this, we receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the property and cover letter from the agent, and a rental demolition and conversion declaration. And we receive comment from Transportation and Advisory Committee for Metrolinx and interest of or concern from on behalf of Netlit Funeral Home.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. Is there anyone here in person that wishes to speak at this item for Dundas Street West? See none? We'll unmute the agent at this time.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Kira Clarkson. I'm the architect and agent for this project. We are adding, can I make my presentation or do you need my address?
Yes, yeah, please.
Sorry, 287 Brunswick, that's where I live. So the project is at sort of the west end of the junction. Our client has purchased the building, which is, one of these classic Toronto 2-story, commercial on the ground floor. There used to be a dance studio, and then apartment on the 2nd floor, 2-bedroom. Actually, it was a studio, but we're turning it into a 2-bedroom.
Okay, can I interrupt a little bit? Sorry. Since I don't believe you have any opposition, let me check with.
No, okay. If you don't need a presentation,
No,
that's fine.
it's fine. Yeah, you can have a presentation, but let me check with the panel whether they also would like to have a presentation first. Yeah.
For sure.
Would you like to have a presentation, a brief one, or?
Yes.
Yes, they actually like to have a very brief one. Can you just, you can start.
Absolutely. I'll give you the little Coles notes. Yes. So it's a 2-story building existing with commercial on the ground floor and an apartment on the 2nd. And our client would like to move her office into the 1st floor. She runs a small staffing company with 5 employees. So they'll be on the 1st floor. We're not planning to change that floor. And we're updating the 2nd floor apartment. We're actually, you can turn, so that's the 1st floor. There'll be common space in the front and then a sort of break room at the back, but we're not changing that plan. If you scroll to the next plan, that shows the 2nd floor apartment. It actually currently has a kitchen to the front, which you can see, and then a bathroom and one big open space in the back, which we're turning into a larger bedroom and a smaller bedroom, just to create more 2-bedroom apartments in the neighborhood. And then what she would like to do is add a 3rd story, which is as of right, so we're not asking for variance for any of the working stuff of the building. So adding another 2-bedroom apartment there, which will have amazing views of the city, and then 2 decks off the back. There's currently a deck off the rear already on the 2nd floor, and we'd like to make a deck at the 3rd floor. And as a requirement for fire safety, as per our code consultant and our building examiner, we need to provide a fire stair off the rear. And the fire stair off the rear does trigger the 2nd variance, which is, well, I'll back up. We're providing 1 parking space. Currently, there are no parking spaces there because the building goes almost all the way to the back of the property. So we're removing a kind of substandard 1st floor. It was like a painting shed kind of workshop. So removing that and creating 1 parking space. And then the zoning requires you to add a 2nd parking space still in a CR zone. You wouldn't have to in an R zone, but because the zoning hasn't been updated, we'd be required to have a 2nd parking space as of right. But the lot is only 15 feet wide. So we can provide bike spaces, but we're right on a TTC line for lots and lots of buses, and we're not far from the subway. So we're providing 1 car parking, and there's actually a whole parking lot right behind this lane, as it happens. And the reason we need the 2nd variance, so we can't provide the 2nd parking space, there's just no space. And the reason we can't provide a complete, clear 3.2 meter wide parking space is that we have 1 column, you can sort of see, supporting the, like a post, supporting the fire escape up at for the 3rd level egress, that will impede by 9 centimeters will impede in that one point, or where those 2 points, where those 2 columns are, will impede that 3.2 meters. So it's going to be 3.09 meters for the parking space, not 3.2. So we do believe this is minor. We believe this is a sort of project the city should be supporting because we're adding more housing to the city. Regrettably, we can't provide the second parking space, but we also believe the city is trying to encourage us to use bikes and public transit. So we're making one more parking space than we had, but we cannot figure out a way to provide a second. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And any questions? Okay, yeah, we do not have any questions for you. Now we are in committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I think it's pretty minor, and I think the development is pretty desirable. It's a good improvement, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy to make a motion to
Yeah.
approve. I think, especially where the property is located, where it has access to transit on Dundas, and it's not too far from St. Clair West as well, where there's the streetcar. I think the loss of a parking spot is not a major concern, and I don't see any adverse impact, so I would move to approve.
Yeah.
Metrolinx has a warning, but I don't think it's necessary to impose
Yeah,
any
no,
kind of condition related to that.
we just mentioned it, yeah, we will mention it, but it's not, it's an advisory, yeah. And one second, Ms. West, second, all in favor? Approve, with just the advisory comments, yeah. Thank you very much, it's approved. Okay, we can get Philip back for next item. So, okay, the next item is number 6, 55 Dearborn Avenue. This is to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front basement walkout and a rear 2-story addition and a rear ground floor deck and a rear 2nd-story terrace. They're seeking 3 variances. On this file, we have received a survey revised site plan, 4 plans and elevations, 4 photographs of 3 of the property, and also a staff report from community planning. Let's have the agent.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. Is there anyone here in person that wishes to speak to this item? See none? Okay. We will unmute the agent. Reza?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Can you tell us your name and your address for our record, please?
Yes, my name is Reza Sekavati, and the address is 2 Hemford Crescent, North York.
Okay. Since you do not have any opposition, I'm going to see whether we require a presentation from you before you start. Yeah. Anyone
Sure.
wants a presentation for this?
Just a question.
Okay, we do have some questions for you. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms.
Through you,
West.
Madam Chair, I would like to get some explanation regarding variance number 3, which the proposed have 0% front yard landscaping versus 75% required.
Is that a 2 and 3? Same, yeah.
3. Variance number 3.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know why the examiner mentions the 0% because there are some plantation in the front yard as it is, but we are adding a walkout there. We are reducing the percentage for sure, but it's not 0. I don't know how examiner looked at it and calculated as 0. But now we are trying to keep the vegetation and plantation there, and we are proposing something around 43% of the front yard to be soft landscaping.
Oh,
Sorry, 43% or 14?
I'm not too sure we understand what you say. Are you revising some of these variances?
Sorry?
You have, I think you have 3 variances in front of, 2 are
Correct.
concerning the soft landscaping in the front yard.
Mhm.
Are you telling us that you're going to revise some of these numbers?
Yes, the proposal will have 43% of soft landscaping at the front.
Okay.
43? So
43 point something, I can't remember off my memory.
do you want to sort this out? Because there are 2 variances. One is strictly just the square footage, and the third one is actually in percentage.
I think both to do with the front landscaping, soft landscaping, but they are different clauses of the bylaw.
I understand. We want to know the precise changes you're going to make. You have to be very precise, and you have to get the variances in front of you and tell us which numbers change and what percentage and what footage exactly, so we can do the revisions now.
Yeah, it's 43.29% for both soft landscaping clauses. For both of them, we're gonna have 43.29%.
So,
How many square
Okay.
Through
feet?
you, Madam Chair, I think we probably don't have to actually revise the variances if we impose the planning staff condition, because the planning staff condition is to try to tie it to the revised site plan. And if I understand, the revised site plan is the one that shows some additional soft landscaping at the front. So we could approve the variances, bringing it down to 0, but tying it to the site plan, and therefore they'd have to put in at least what's in the site plan. No?
Through you,
that's-
Madam
no.
Chair, no.
no,
Okay.
No, I think it would be best if we amended the variances so it's
Yeah.
consistent with the revised site plan, and then you also tie them to the revised site
Yeah.
plan if you approve
Yeah.
as
Because-
amended on condition, right? So the applicant has now submitted a revised site plan. They should be able to tell us exactly what the percentage
yes.
and the square meters is.
Otherwise,
If
will
we need to
create-
hold this item
Yeah,
and then come back to them,
yes.
uh,
I think so.
then I think
agree
that would be
because they will
best,
avoid
yes.
some confusion, because later on they can provide 0 percentage. And did you hear our Deputy Secretary Treasurer's suggestion that we'll give you some time, we'll come back to this item, and just go to the variances and tell us precisely what number on the variances you're going to change. Don't create other wording, just go with the variances as they are written. Okay, we give you some
The
time.
area, the proposed area of the soft landscaping is gonna be 7.448 meters square meter.
Through you, Madam Chair, so for the agent to confirm, variance number 2 is now going to read, in this case, 7.48 square meters of the front yard excluding the permitted driveway will be maintained as soft landscaping. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then variance number 3 will read, in this case, 43.29% at 7.48 square meters of the required front yard landscaped open space will be in the form of soft landscaping. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the revision, so, all right. Any other questions? That's good. Okay, we are in committee now, we have no questions. Okay, Ms. West, yes, with the,
Yes, through you, Madam
Revision.
Chair, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with the modification as amended, that variance number 2, it's from 0 square meter changed to 7.48 square meter soft landscaping, front yard soft landscaping, and variance number 3 is the 43.29% equal to 7.48 square meter. That's the new numbers, and also would like to tie it to the condition that staff mentioned on June 18, 2024, that the development be constructed substantially in accordance with drawing A01 site plan from the revised site plan received by the Committee of Adjustment, June 11, 2024. That is my motion.
Next, very good motion. Ms.
Yeah.
Mr. Goss,
I'll second.
please. Yeah, second, and you like to make a comment?
No.
Look like, yeah, okay. Okay, all in favor of amended agenda with the conditions and revisions? Yeah, thank you. Approve, thank you, yeah. Number 7, item number 7, let us see. Is 5, Scrivener Square, and also 410 R Price Street and 1095 1107 Yonge Street is a development plan alteration. And for this is to alter a mixed-use development plan approved under site-specific bylaw, and by increasing the building heights as shown in revised diagram 6 and increasing the residential gross floor area. The applicant is associated with site plan approval application and also have has a heritage designation. We have received a site plan, a survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 4 photographs of the property, and also letter from the planner, decision affecting the subject property, and schedule study, digital rendering, and map of approved and proposed heights, and presentation material from the planner, and site-specific zoning bylaw, revised diagram 6, and we have comments from staff, community planning, and also we have support from ABC Residents Association. And that's all the material we received, and welcome.
Through you, Madam Chair, we don't have any registered speakers for this item. I just want to make sure, is there anyone here in person that wishes to speak to this item? See none? Okay,
Yeah.
then we can hear.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, they do. Oh, you do have one. Yes, you want to speak? Yes, I do. Oh, okay. So let's.
He's in support of the application? Okay, so we'll hear from you, and then we'll hear from this gentleman.
Yeah.
Okay?
So just give us a brief presentation then.
Yes,
Yeah.
so, good morning. It's Cynthia McDougall here, counsel on behalf of the owner, Scrivener Square. And with me is Lee McGrath, who will make a brief presentation, if you'd like, the land use planner. What I wanted to say at the outset, it's a 2-story modest addition, and Scrivener Square has worked so hard with the community, the Residents Association, Thornwood, Bill DeLuce is here representing the Thornwood Corp. You'll hear from him directly. And there are no objections, or there's letters of support in either case. And I was the lawyer on behalf of the original approval. And this is a very collaborative owner who, as I said, has worked very hard. And so very pleased to be here to ask for a very modest 2 additional stories. And I'll hand it over to Lee.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind pulling up the presentation materials? Thank you. I'm Lee McGrath. I'm a planner and partner at Urban Strategies, and I have a brief presentation to walk you through the minor variance before you today. As Cynthia mentioned, this is the site of an existing approval dating from 2019. The building is currently under construction, and we're here seeking 2 additional stories and associated increase in GFA. Next slide, please. So we're here at the Yonge and Summerhill neighborhood. So it's just 2 blocks south of the Summerhill station. Part of the existing approval includes a new entrance to the Summerhill station that's being built on site as we speak. The building is under construction. Just south of the North Toronto Rail Station with a site of the Summerhill LCBO. And as well, there's some existing taller buildings, the Thornwood 1 and 2 condominiums to the east, as well as the Toronto Lawn and Tennis Club, and the traditional Yonge Street, Main Street fabric, and then residences to the east and to the west. And Rosedale Station is about 400 meters to the south. Next, please. So as we mentioned, the proposal consists of 2 additional new tower floors. I want to be clear that there's no impact to the podium part of the building. nor to any of the setbacks or step-backs that were carefully constructed along in consultation with the Thornwoods back at the time of the original approval. The 2 additional stories would generate a height increase of 6.6 meters overall, so from 21 stories to 23 stories. There's a unique element about this building. It has an articulated crown, so the very top of the tower element, if we go to the next image, you can see that a little bit better, is actually 4 separate steps of the crown. So that's why the height map has been updated with the 4 different ultimate heights for each one of those crown elements. So it has a really nice view from a sky view perspective, a nicely articulated crown there at the top of the building. Next slide, please. Just wanted to reinforce that all of the existing community benefits from the original proposal will continue to be delivered. So there's a parkland dedication here, as well as a mid-block connection and various public realm improvements around the site that will continue to be provided, as well as that new entrance to the TTC subway station on site. Next, please. So we've seen quite a bit of development activity between the intervening time between 2019 and today. An approved 31-story building is now to the north and west of the site. So I continue to feel that a 23-story, the proposed 23-story building is an appropriate amount of infill intensification in this location, and also meets the tests of the official plan for mixed-use areas, as well as reinforces provincial direction around major transit station areas and intensification along transit corridors. Next, please. There are official plan protected views in a site and area specific policy that apply to this site. That's OPA 208. We have tested the impact of the additional height on those views. Those views very specifically identify that the clock tower shall not be diminished or detract from, that the visual prominence of the clock tower is still maintained. And as you can see in the view tests, that test is continuing to be met and there isn't impact to the clock tower. Next, please. This shows you a graphic representation of the consultation that our client has undertaken as part of this application. Conversations have been had with the various residents associations and impacted landowners around the site, and we're pleased to have the letters of support that you heard about already, and a friend from Thornhill here to speak after me today. There was, next slide please. An updated shadow study as done as part of the application. There's limited net new shadow on residential properties and no net new shadow impact on Pricefield Road. And if we go to the last slide, just in summary, this proposal is very minor in nature. It meets the intent of the official plan as well as the site-specific zoning bylaw. There's also a recommended Section 45 contribution that our client has discussed with city staff that we'd be pleased to see to come to fruition, so the committee agree to approve this variance. So we're happy to answer questions after the rest of the deputations.
Do you want to ask the question now, or you want to wait till after hearing the other speakers?
Either is fine.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, we'll get you back later. I do have a couple of questions.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
My name is William DeLuce, as has been already mentioned. I'm a board member at the Toronto Standard Condominium Corporation number 1614.
Yeah. Can you also tell us your own address?
Okay, 25 Scrivener Square,
Okay.
Suite 1302.
Okay, you got that. Okay.
I represent the Board of Directors of 1614.
Okay.
I'm here to file a letter of support for this application for 2 additional floors of the James at 5 Scrivener Square, next to our building at 25 Scrivener Square. I would point out that we are the nearest residential neighbor of this applicant. The James/Tricon has demonstrated to us that they will be good and future desirable neighbors. Our reasons are as follows, but not limited to the following. Number 1, we have enjoyed open and transparent communication. Number 2, we have monthly scheduled meetings with the applicant and extra meetings as required. Number 3, we receive immediate response to concerns of our residents and they are addressed by the applicant. Things like lighting and noise and that type of thing. Number 4, we receive from them on a weekly basis the advanced construction schedule that sets out things like activities on Saturdays, Sundays, and any type of interruption to our traffic flow. Furthermore, when work has interrupted traffic, we are provided in our laneway and our Scrivener Square Street off-duty policemen and other traffic directors to assist and minimize inconvenience to our residents. The presence the presence of additional advantages that we see would be the presence of additional businesses in the new James, like restaurants and other community-type services, bakeries, coffee shops, none of which we know now, but we understand that they may be underway. Last but not least, as part of the plan by the applicant, there will be the creation of a TTC access point about 50 meters from our front door, connecting us with the south end of Summerhill subway platform. That will be a huge advantage and convenience for our 135 suite residents. We look forward, in conclusion, we look forward to the timely completion of the James and meeting our new neighbors.
Thank you so
I'd
much.
like-
Any questions?
I have a letter of
Yes.
support to file.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any question to this speaker? No.
No, thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, don't see any further speakers, so
Okay.
we'll call back the agent.
I do have a couple of questions specific on the variances. I understand you increase just like a 2-story. I'm not quite, maybe you can explain why it will affect the non-residential use GFA, right? Is it the first, is the first variance mentioned that they will change the non-residential? Why should that be changed then?
The non-residential use, or the non-residential GFA will not be changing. It's just related to the residential GFA portion of that clause.
I see, it's just in terms of proportion,
Yeah.
right?
This is the new, yeah.
But
Yeah.
then these two stories are mainly more residential use.
Correct.
And then any design underneath
Unchanged.
unchanged.
Correct.
But in proportion of it, it's changed, right? Is
I-
it, why we have variance in one? That's the only.
Yeah, no, it's just that the variances, or the clause of the bylaw is written that permits a maximum of 3,300 as non-residential uses, so nothing about that will change. So still up to a maximum of 3,300 is permitted. What's changing is that there's a slightly more additional residential GFA, so yes, the proportion of residential to non-res would
see.
change in relationship, but it's just about, I think, just under 1,200 square
That's
meters.
what I want to know why is that affected. Okay, that's my only questions. now.
Sure.
Yeah. And also there's a staff report, you agree to all the conditions, the community planning.
The community planning letter, yes, we're aware of,
recommends. Yeah,
yes.
recommends, okay. Any questions? Okay, we have no more questions, now we're committee. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah, you make it, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to make a couple comments before we vote, which is a comment about the condo association that presented. Anything having to do with construction, be it good or bad, normally we hear bad, doesn't actually impact our decision, but it is heartening to hear that they've been working well with you. About the project as a whole, it's only 8 new units, which isn't that much, But I think it's highly supportable. It is good to bring more density to this location. It's not that significant an increase in the context of what's happening in the area. And one of the things that I like about it, and I think makes it desirable, is the size of the units. They're quite large units.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be affordable units, I don't think, but they're quite large, and that's really needed in the city and in this location. So for those reasons, I find it quite supportable.
Yes, and actually, I mean, I cannot stop myself from mentioning this because we always hear quite often, maybe 99% of the time, is that the condo developer, they call them developer, will not engage or work with the community. They will work with it in a minimal manner, I guess. But I have to mention, this is very, very good to see that they engage. And this is one of the best support letters I ever heard. Thank you very much for doing that. And yeah. So I will support this application too. Yeah.
Yes, to you, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm just very pleased that this is actually a very good example of collaboration of the planning and design team with the community. As you mentioned, we've heard from the presenter and also the letter which have been submitted, and I think it's minor. We have 2 variants, and it's minor and desirable.
Yes. Actually, I forgot to ask one of my questions, but I don't know, what's the reason to increase the 2 stories? Yeah.
Well, there's some changes in the market since the initial approval.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would, for the reasons that I mentioned in my comments before, I would move to approve the application subject to the planning condition and the TTC condition.
Okay. Yes, and one second.
I can second.
Ms. West, second. All in favor with the conditions? Approved. Thank you very much for coming. Yes. Okay, now we move to item number 8 is 2248 Dufferin Street. For this application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling. It's a 4-plex with front balconies on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd floors, and a front basement walkout with stairs. Also to reconstruct the rear 1-story auxiliary building, which is a detached garage. There will be a total of 4 residential dwelling on this lot. On this, they are seeking 12 variances, and we receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, cover letter from the agent, arborist report, and presentation material from the agent, and also we have corresponding with committee adjustment. We also receive comment from city community planning and transportation engineering. We have a staff report from urban forestry and advisory report from Metrolink.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 1 registered speaker here to speak in opposition.
Okay.
So at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, my name is Benjamin Larson.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My name is Benjamin Larson. I'm a planner at Elevate Planning and Project Management, address 15 Gervais Drive, Suite 503, Toronto.
Okay. You do have 1 opposition here. But perhaps you can give us a brief presentation of your application. Yeah.
Certainly, if you could pull up figure 2 in my presentation deck.
Okay.
Figure 2 in the slide deck. Applicant presentation. Great. If we just zoom in on page 2, and the numbers are in the bottom left of each sheet. But this, just to give it a bit of a process summary, it's been lodged logical and orderly. The variances are based on the zoning review. As you can see on the screen, we met with city planning before the hearing. They've indicated no objection to the proposed variance. There's also a transportation communication on the file indicating no objection to the proposed variances, and there's a Metrolinx advisory memo, so we're aware of that. That's fine. Figure 3 on the screen now shows the air photo. The site is blue. It's irregular in shape. It has frontage on 2 streets, with Dufferin being a major street. If I could have figure 4 on the screen, this will just show the surface transit. There is a northbound and southbound bus stop right in front of the site, and the northbound bus in particular provides about a 1-minute bus ride north to the crosstown station known as Fairbank. Figure 5, please. This will show the crosstown map. The site is shown in blue, and it's about 600 meters south of the Fairbank, Eglinton Crosstown, Fairbank LRT station. Figure 6, please. This will just show the planning framework, and I'll just go left to right. On the left of the screen in the yellow map shows the land use plan. The site is neighborhoods. To the right of that is the enhanced surface transit network map. The site is shown along Dufferin, which is a surface transit priority road, and then to the right of that is Dufferin, which is a major street, and then to the right of that is the zoning map. And you can see the left and the right images, which are shown on the screen here. You can see there's an eclectic mix of designations and land use designations that apply up and down Dufferin, which is a major road. Slide 7, please. This just shows the major street context of the site. Once you get to it, you'll see that there are a mix of uses. There's low and high-rise buildings along the street with parks, recreational facilities, institutional uses. So there's a fairly eclectic mix along this major street. And figure 8, please. This will show an air photo of the interior neighborhood. There's also a mix of characters in the interior. There's 1- and 2-story homes, 2-story apartments, and also the rear portion of a 9-story apartment building. If I could have figure 9, please. This will show the PMTSA, and the blue shows the Fairbank LRT station, and you can see there's in the bold black line, there's a PMTSA boundary delineated around that. The site is within this PMTSA. It's shown by the red star, and it's about a 600 meter or 400 meter distance, or a 6-minute walk. There it is on the screen now. If I could have figure 10, please. This shows the 12 variances that are sought. We've grouped them into 3 categories, being 1 being massing, 2 being on-site landscaping, and 3 being the siting of the detached garage. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will highlight a couple. If I could have figure 12, please. This will show the height-related variance. Once it gets to that slide, you'll see the north elevation. We've shown in green the as-of-right permission for height, and then you can see in red, it's on figure 12, please. In red, you'll see the exceedance that is sought, which is about 1.2 meters, quite limited, and is needed for this this flat-roofed modern architectural expression. Slide 14, please. This will show, if you just go to slide 14, this will show a rationale for the side yard setback variance that is sought. We've looked around in the vicinity of the site, and there is evidence of tighter side yard setback conditions. It's a character of this area, so in my opinion, it's appropriate to go for the side yard setback variance. Slide 15, please. This relates to preserving view and privacy, and once we get to slide 15, you'll see that we show the ground, 2nd, and 3rd floor, and we show the locations of glazing and balcony locations, and you'll see from that visual that all of those elements are focused towards the public right-of-way and not towards the interior neighborhood lots, which is to preserve view and privacy. Again, something we've discussed with city planning. Figure 17, please. This will show illustrations related to the soft landscaping deficiency, and I just want to point out the fact that there are some deficiencies on site, but it is in the front. There are challenges related to grade because it slopes down towards Dufferin, but there are deep boulevards along the site's frontages, which will include soft landscaping. There's 6 preserved trees along the side street, and it will give ample areas for infiltration to occur for any runoff from the site. So we hope that you will find the soft landscaping variance technical in nature.
Yeah.
That's generally all I wanted to go over in the presentation, so I'll just leave it there.
Thank you, yes. So we hold on our questions, and let's listen to the next speaker. Yeah.
Hello, Madam Chair
Yes.
and the committee. My name is Danny Rodriguez Pedro.
Yes.
My parents are there in the back. They're the owners of 2250 Dufferin Street, neighbors to the 2248.
Okay.
We see what they are proposing. We're not against the fact of, everyone needs a house, right? Everyone wants to live. We're a bit shocked in the way of privacy, being that it's a quadplex, all right? Yes, around the area, there is houses that are more or less the same, if not a little less. Besides that, the 4-car parking in the back, I'm still kind of troubled because I myself didn't get as much information yet sent to the house. I'm looking through, yes, the city hall plans and everything, but that gentleman has definitely more plans than I'd like to see myself, thanks to the agent. Basically, for example, in front of the household, there's a stairway that's shared between the two properties. On my parents' side, they have their own stairway, yes. If you guys were to see the front of the houses, yes, but there's one stairway about 14 to 15 steps. Half of that is in theirs and half is in our properties. We would like to know what's the situation that's going on with that.
Okay.
Also with, yes, privacy between the homes. I believe you kind of explained it there, but, window base towards my parents, that's one way. I know there's previous windows there in the household that's there now. Being at the balconies, if I could just double check if the balconies are all facing forward towards the main street. If there's nothing in the rear, that's a bit of a plus that there's no privacy being invaded on my parents' side of their backyard. Again, it's more of like future development of like how it's being set up, parking spots. There is going to be a little bit of more traffic. The area is amazing, especially for Metro. We've got the bus stop right in front of actually their property. Is a bus stop right there. It is amazing, Metro-wise, right? Northbound, southbound. Traffic is traffic, right? But aside from that, we're more concerned about what's going to happen with that set of stairs in the front,
Okay.
because that is an access point for us as well.
Yes.
Our property L-shapes their property. They are dead corner. My parents are literally next neighbors to the left side, if you're looking bird's eye view, and their garage goes in behind their property. 2248. Again, it's more of in between the households privacy issue and also in future of like where they're going to put their disposal of garbages. Is it going to be towards my parents' fence? Are we going to have issues in future regarding that, right? And then where they park their vehicles. Also, they have a detached garage there that goes in a bit towards our property. It's along the borderline there. Like we like to be inclined like to understand what's going on, the layout, how it's really going to happen, right? And yes, it is a big shocker. 30 years of my life living there, 34 years, I'm 34. Being that there's the whole strip, that whole block is pretty much all bungalows, and now we're going to have this like quadplex, right? There goes my sunshine in a way. Again, we're not totally against the project, just
You want
basically
to understand more.
in between our households, the spacing, are we going to be shed over this? Like, is it going to be towered over us? Still, yeah, like the PDF file that the agent provided, I'd love to see that myself because I didn't see much of the paperwork that we received, the emails that I received. Just to get a better understanding. And yeah, that front stair is definitely going to be an issue because it is one access for us in front of the household, and as well, construction, right? There's definitely going to be a lot of turbulence there. Is it going to affect my foundation? How close you're going to get to our right side of the house, right, facing forward? And to make sure there's nothing leaning on towards our fences. Yes, the property line is pretty much borders out everything, but for us to know if there's anything gonna be against our existing garage, our existing fence line, how far is it gonna stay away? You know, we've already had the notice ahead of time, but even talking about it, you can hear in my voice, it's still a shocker, yeah. But I'm not against the project, just would like to know certain things, again, the front stair and so forth, right? As the project proceeds, there will be some hiccups, but to have some good communication. Thank you guys for hearing me out.
Thank you. Yeah, we can have the agent come back and address some of your concerns. Yeah. Oh, you have questions, sorry.
Yeah, so is it the three of you that reside there?
Sorry?
Is it the three of you that live in that
Yes,
house
yes,
right
yes.
next
My
door?
sister's, she's happily married. Yeah, it's just me and my parents.
Yeah. Do you know that, I do not know, have you actually talked to the agent or
No,
they explain things?
no,
to you?
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd like to have conversation with he or her. I believe it's a he, but, you
Yeah.
know.
As it is, what has been proposed now, that the new house, it seems that the setback to your property is going to be decreased. Do you know that? It's going to be closer to your house.
So it's gonna be closer, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're aware of that from the drawings?
I think I remember it being, I think it's at 1.5 meters away from the property line.
No, it's going to be
Less than
point
Four or
four
five.
five.
So it's dead.
Or,
16
sorry,
inches.
0.49 meters
From the property
from the
line.
property
So,
line.
Yeah,
And then you have about maybe 1 meter from the property line, but then it will be a little closer than the existing house to, yeah.
I'm sure we're definitely okay with that. The issue is like, is that gonna affect my side of the foundation? Like, there's the foundation home, and then I got some, I guess you guys would call it soft landscaping, because I have interlock there, and then my front yard. Is that gonna cave in when they're digging that out? Right, this is all,
Yeah, so the construction issues are not really what we look at
Correct.
here. So if there is a
Sorry.
construction issue that arises over the project, that's, you should contact 311 and they'll put you in touch with the correct
Awesome.
part of the city, probably building services or property standards. So that never should happen, and if something like that is happening, you should contact the city, but it's not really what we're considering. One thing that I know not everyone reads plans super well. It can be very foreign. One thing I did notice that might be of interest to you is right now they've got some windows facing your side, but in the new design, there are no windows facing your side. So you're not
So-
going to have that privacy impact
That's a plus.
from windows. So I think that was an intentional thing.
Awesome.
But I think your questions about the stairs at the front and the garbage are good questions that we'll put to the representative, the
Yeah.
agent.
But my question to you is, it seems that you're concerned about the footing or affecting your footing and all. But my question is that you're aware that the new building is going to be closer to your property. Does that bother you?
not necessarily,
Not
no,
necessarily.
but,
A little bit, by a little bit, not.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, we all got a new construction, is what it is, right? But basically, again, it's the front steps. Is it gonna be the same? Is it gonna be new? Is it gonna be the same idea? Yes, it's closer. That's a plus for me, that there's a bit more privacy towards the interior of the household.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
windows
That,
looking
thank
into
you
your
for that,
side,
like,
yeah.
on the previous, that plan there, it's not that much detail for me to understand that, right? The agent had definitely a better detail that I'd love to see and have myself. Respectively, we're okay with what's gonna go down, it's just, again, the stair issue. Happy construction project going through, and whatever's going against our property line towards the back as well, right?
Yeah.
We don't want things being set leading on our property or where our existing garage is, where our driveway is. And then I do have one more request. That gentleman there might have answered my question. I might have to call 311 for that, but the property, if you guys see the existing pictures of the property now, doesn't look like that now. I got weeds from that side, that area, that property. It's almost as tall as me. Maybe not that extensive, but yes, there needs to be some care of that property, even if there's no action going on right now. There's got to be some maintenance, because one, that's going onto my parents' property. I like to say their parents, because
Yeah, but if that happen is, you can contact the property, it's called the property standard committee.
Through you, Madam Chair. So the call would go through 311 for long grass and weeds, and they would send out officer to the
Awesome.
site.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I respectfully, I don't know if the agent can contact whoever's the property owner and whatever the case may be, if they can go ahead and do that ahead, provided I don't want to send 311, because hello, they go through property taxes and nobody wants to pay out of their pocket. But if the agent's still here, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are. It's not something that we would make any sort of a
No,
condition
no,
of
but
approval.
like, okay,
But
I
hopefully
get-
they're listening and message
Yeah.
received.
We're good neighbors, trust me. We've always been great neighbors all these years, at least for the 34 years that I've been alive, and since 1982, I believe, 1981 or something. Again, if there could be a little bit of maintenance for that, condense it, and then whenever you guys start your projects, just give us a heads up when certain things, it is what it is, right? So, I don't want to overextend, you guys work long today, but just to give you guys a heads up, and Madam Chair and the committee, thank you
Thank you.
for your time.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Just through you, Madam Chair.
You have a
I just
question?
want to point out one thing. First, I would like to ask staff if they can put the variance, number 1, 2, and 3 on the screen. So I just want to point out. So I just want you to draw attention to the number 1 variance. So what my colleague, and also 3. So when they talk about the setback, side yard setback, so for example, in variance number 3, the minimum required side yard setback is 1.2 meter. So their new side yard setback, which they propose, is 0.49 meter from your lot line, which you are located at the north side.
Half a meter.
So yes, instead of 1.2, that's what I want you to
Yes.
just
That's what I
see.
was
It's
pointing
a
at,
variance
yeah.
number 3, and also variance number 1. The first and third story rear platform will be located in 0.49 meter from the side line, which means then the third story, they have a small balcony. Are you aware of it?
Oh, I keep touching, so sorry. Hi. So to understand that all the balconies are facing forward towards Dufferin,
That one is facing the rear.
The rear,
There's one
the,
on the third story facing the
the
rear.
third, yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe, you suggest privacy screen for that little one, or is it?
No, I just trying to understand because the neighbor say concerned, they had concern for privacy. And I just want to point out to that 2 variance to understand that, is that their
Thank you.
objection is that to 2 variance or other things. And I also want to draw their attention to the third floor balcony.
It's a very small one,
If,
Maybe in
If we-
4 by
section,
4 feet, but then we can put some private screen on your side.
if we can pull up the north elevation, A9, this is the way the building will look facing your, not that one, the next one. This is the side that will face your property. So you can see the 3 balconies, because even on the ground floor, that's sort of a balcony over the basement that they're going to kind of level out. So there are 3 balconies at the front, and then on the right, kind of built into the building, that's the balcony towards the rear.
Do you guys mind if I just ask my parents to move forward so I could explain that to them?
yeah.
You guys okay with that? Thank you.
And then you can see the rest of it, there are no windows, which was what I
So
was
that
saying.
one on that little opening there on the
But
right.
then they
Yeah.
do have a full window looking into your side,
No.
through the balcony. You can
Oh,
see.
yes, well,
So
yeah.
Through the
that
balcony.
That entrance door up there, right there, yeah, is that, that's the third balcony you guys are talking about?
Exactly.
And that faces to the north or to the east?
No, it faces to the west.
Sorry, yeah, west.
Yeah, it faces to the west, but it's got this opening that faces over you. One condition that we've imposed in the past that I think we would consider if it was a concern for you is to put a screening on the side that faces your property so that up to 1.5 meters, so that there's a little more privacy.
A screening as in fence-wise, or?
Yeah, like a sort of,
On
like
the
a sort of
balcony.
opaque fence on the balcony, on that third-story balcony, so that there's a bit of a blockage.
All right.
Yeah, frosted glass or something of that sort.
Okay. So sorry if I can have a minute just to explain to my mother. Is there, my mom understands that. Side note, is there any more of the plans towards where the detached garage is, where apparently the 4 spots, parking spots are happening?
Maybe that we can leave for the agent to address. But my understanding is that they're taking down the garage that exists, but putting up a new structure basically in the same spot. But I think it's better if they confirm that.
Sorry, if I can have. My mother's asking if, and probably doesn't show into detail, but it shouldn't attach to our garage, because the current garages that are there now are detached. They're on their own property. They're next to each other, because that's what it is, property line and stuff, but there's no such thing as it being attached to our existing property, right? No.
That's not how it appears on the plan, but again, I'll ask the agent to confirm that.
And I'd love to have contact with the agent, one, to have more eyesight on these existing plans that he has, and also to keep in contact, just for safekeeping and heads up, right? On certain things. Yeah, as long as they don't affect our property and that front stair. What's really gonna happen? Yeah.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair,
Thank
we
you.
can probably
Yeah.
go back to the
Yeah,
agent
let's-
so
let's
that
go back
he
to
has
the
a
agent,
chance
yeah.
to, give us a 5-minute presentation on the things that he's heard from this owner.
Yeah, thank you, yes. Yes.
Oh, hi, can you hear me again?
Yes.
Great, well, thank you, Danny, for the reasonable commentary on the application. It was my understanding the owner did knock on the door of, I guess, your property and the one to the west, and they were not able to get a hold of anybody, but they have done a few of these multiplexes before in the area, and they are very open to keeping an open dialogue through construction, and I'll make sure that the owner gets in touch with you. He's out of the country right now, but he will get in touch with you as soon as possible, and we'll keep an open dialogue moving forward. The files, obviously, as the committee knows, they're online and downloadable there. And if I could have my presentation, just figure 15 of my presentation, I can talk about privacy. I'm a land use planner. It's something I think about when I support these types of projects. It's something we've considered. And once we get slide 15 on the screen, you'll basically see the 3 floors, and the intent was to show and make the glazing face the public street frontages. They're shown by the light blue, which are basically doorways, and the darker blue which are actual windows. There was talk about the third floor. There's a balcony. It's not a balcony. It's a terrace. The building kind of notches in, and then it's on the right side of the screen if you zoom in. There is a dark blue window that would be facing west, but I want to make the point that it's 1.9 meters set back from the property line. The requirement would be 1.2 meters, so it's actually set back more than would be required. But it's a small deck, and the panel was mentioning the idea of a privacy screen on the north side of that terrace. I think that's an appropriate solution to mitigate any privacy that may happen, so that we're definitely open to that. There was a question about balconies from Danny. In orange, at the top of the screen, if you zoom in, there are 3 balconies on the floor levels. They're all focused towards Dufferin. And I want to if you could zoom in, we put in red the fact that the north edge of the balconies are set back 1.97 meters from the north property line. That exceeds the requirement. The variance related to the balconies is associated with the south edge as it interfaces with Rowan Avenue. That's where the variance is, and I think it's totally appropriate because it interfaces with a public road. Regarding the stair situation, you can see on this air photo here, there's a curved stair for 2250 that rises up to their front porch, and then there's another stair that goes up towards, it kind of straddles both properties. Those will be preserved. They are not going to be affected. We're going to build around those. That addresses that issue there. Regarding parking, if I could have slide 19 of my presentation up. This shows the detached garage in the rear, and I think there was a bit of confusion about parking spaces. You'll see on that slide, once we get to slide 19, you'll see that there's 1 car parking space in the garage, and then there'll be 4 bicycle parking spaces at the rear of it. That's the intent. On that slide, you'll see in the dark black line the existing garage, and then you'll see in orange the proposed enlarged and improved garage. So it's 1 car parking space, 4 bike parking spaces to support active transportation. So it would be my thinking that people will generally rely on transit who live in the 4 units within this fourplex. Regarding the fact that there's bungalows to the north, I want to point the plan context out. This actually is less than the permitted height. This is a strategic area, like Danny's parents' property. It's a very well located property. It's within very close proximity to higher order transit. All of these properties, I suspect some may change in the coming years as there's been an initiative to add more housing in the form of gentle intensification like fourplexes. So these are all really excellent located properties. And I think we just have to appreciate the plan context when thinking about height and massing. Regarding the concern about weeds, I will definitely bring that to the owner's attention. It is their hope and aspiration to get this thing built as quickly as possible. So yes, I'll talk about the weeds, but just so you know, they want to get this built and they want to get it tenanted as soon as they can. So hopefully, once it's all done, it will be a redeveloped fourplex with properly maintained landscaping. There was a mention about soft landscaping. I just want to also bring up the point that there's 6 white cedars along the Rowan Avenue frontage, and those will all be preserved. It's shown in the tree protection plan submitted with the application, so that will be maintained. And I hope I've answered the questions you have raised, but I will most certainly, I think what the most important thing is have the owner and their construction manager get in contact with Danny and his parents, so there's a very open line of communication.
Yeah, your time is up, but I think that you forgot to address the major question about the front stairs, right?
Oh, yeah.
You did? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was.
But I do think the one that was missed was how the garbage is going to be handled for these units. Is there any plan for that?
Yeah, my apologies. The garbage. So the garage will be enlarged. There's ample space within the reconstructed garage to locate the bins. There's a walkway along the back of the fourplex in the rear that there could be the bin stage there. So there's ample locations for it to happen.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any more questions to this?
Just,
to agent? Yeah, one more
yes,
question.
through you, Madam Chair, just a clarification regarding the zoning email correspondence that you got on June 3rd.
Oh, could you bring it on the screen? I don't know.
Yes. I just would like to know, it's also talk about the reduction in north setback of 0.25, but just want to get clarification and more information.
I'm getting a little bit of a delay on the YouTube, but if we could, oh, there it is. If we could zoom in on this email. We zoom in a little bit more because we've had close communication with the zoning examiner and C of A intake staff. And if we could zoom in a little more, I think this is more about rounding, but I don't see any issue. Yeah, so there would have been a slight back and forth when we were formalizing the variances, but it all is all reflected. The proper zoning notice was sent, it was reviewed by building, and the public notice that went out is representative of the correctly vetted variances. So I have no concern with this email on the screen.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, we have no more questions.
No more question.
Can he ask questions? No. So sorry, we are in committee now. We are in discussion now. Okay. Yeah. All right. So,
Comment?
anyone want to start?
Yeah, I would say I think this is a very good proposal. When I was just reviewing the plans, I thought it was one of the best applications to be before us today. I was pleased to hear the tone of the deputation from the neighbor today. There unfortunately is going to be a lot of change in your neighborhood because of how well located it is. And I think you did the right thing coming here and every concern you raised was a legitimate concern, which is nice. We often, don't necessarily see that. So hopefully they are in contact with you. I would strongly urge the applicant to be in contact with their neighbor. But in terms of building a fourplex, I think it was thoughtfully designed to have the windows facing outside for privacy.
Yeah.
And I also really like that all 4 units are large units. They're good size units.
Yeah.
So.
But I will also suggest to impose the privacy screen on the rear first floor. That's the only one that will have some overlook.
Yeah, on the rear 3rd floor platform.
On the north edge.
On the north edge. And
1.5.
what's the best language to make it not restrictive? If we just say a privacy screen, is that sufficient?
It's opaque. Yeah, it's opaque private screen 1.5 meter from the deck. Yeah, on the north edge. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else wanted to make comments or if I should just
You can
move.
make that into a motion.
I can comment.
Yes.
I just, I was going through this application, and my only concern is that it's too close to the neighbor on the north side. They are the only neighbor that have the most impact.
Yeah.
And because there is a language barrier between the owner, the son translate, I think it would be beneficial if we defer the application so that the applicant and the owner the neighbors can talk and communicate and fully understand what's happening. I know that as of right, they can do fourplex and everything is done based on the as of rights. Not everything. Of course, we have like 12 variants in front of us, but that's my concern.
Sorry. I disagree. I would definitely vote against a deferral because it would create more work for the committee, more work for more members, more work for the applicant, and I'm not sure the benefit would be that great given that, the neighbors have appeared, I understand what you're saying about the language barrier, but 2 members put to them this situation. Mm-hmm. And And the other part of my reasoning is if this were before me and a neighbor were objecting to that setback, I probably still would find it approvable because it is a really desirable development, and to have the large units that they're proposing does require using the space properly. It's also just, I'm one of the panel members that's a lawyer, and, you know, justice delayed is justice denied is sort of a belief that I have. It makes things difficult if sort of our standard position is whenever something is difficult, we defer it. So,
Can I put in my 2 cents?
yeah.
And I do not think a deferral is appropriate for now, only because the applicant came, we sort of clarified a few things for him, and it was not requested by him, by the applicant, I mean. And now we, on behalf of them, we request a deferral. I do not, they not even been asked in the beginning. I think if they, in the beginning, they request a deferral, we probably will consider it. But I don't think they're asking for it now.
No, I understand.
Through you, Madam Chair, if I can suggest, we could put in the minutes for the record that the members encourage the applicant to continue discussions with the landowners at 2250 Dufferin Street.
Yeah, and leave a contact so that
yes.
the son can call.
So that'll be part of the minutes, not obviously the decision, but it's for the record in the minutes.
Yeah. I think that is a good thing, and but especially leave a contact so they can call them. Yeah, okay.
I think that's a good suggestion, and I do recognize where you're coming from, but given the discussion we've had, I think I will see where it goes if I put forward a motion to approve the application with privacy screening on the 3rd floor platform north edge to a height of 1.5 meters, and a comment for the record that we encourage the applicant to speak with, to have a dialogue with their neighbors to the immediate north, and also subject to forestry condition number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a forestry condition number 1, right? Okay. So, Philip put a motion. Anyone wants to second?
Yeah, I'll second that motion. I tend to agree with what Philip said. And even when we were listening to the neighbor, I got the sense that there wasn't really an opposition to the building being closer, and I think there's also similar spacing on their property. So I don't really see there being a large adverse impact, and I think what is going to be the impact with the privacy is mitigated by the design and the use of I guess we'll have privacy screening and the orientation of the building. So, and I believe there is open space at the back as well where the light comes through. So I don't think that this is going to have a really big lived impact on the neighbor to the north.
So you're second, okay. So all in favor with the conditions? Yeah. Oh, 3-1, you dissent. Yeah, Ms. West, okay, dissent. Approve with 3-1, thank you. Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need a break? Do you want a break, or you want to carry on?
Through you, Madam Chair, maybe we can get through the next 2 items.
Okay.
Item 9 and 10, obviously requesting a deferral.
Okay.
And then we can take a break, a 10-minute break.
Okay.
At that time.
Okay. Number 9 is 16 Silverwood Avenue. This is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with an integral garage and a rear ground floor deck with stairs and a rear third floor balcony. On this, we have received, they're looking for, I think, 8 variances. On this, we received survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 4 photographs of trees of the property, and an arborist report and a presentation from the agent. And we have also received comment from Urban Forestry, and we received 6 letters of support, and that's all we have to say.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 1 registered speaker, I believe, in support. So at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Tay Rook. I'm the planner for the owner of the property at 16 Silverwood Avenue. My address is 18 Yonge Street.
Okay, do we have opposition speakers?
We do have 1 registered speaker showing in support, I believe. So
Okay, maybe.
we may want to unmute them and just confirm that.
Yes.
So we'll unmute Jeffrey Wagman from 14 Silverwood Avenue. Hello, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
we can hear you. We just want to know whether are you going to speak, and are you going to speak in support or in opposition to the application?
I'm here to speak in support.
Oh, okay. So thank you. We'll come back to you. Wait. All right.
Okay.
So let's have the agent. Since you do not have any opposition, I'm going to check whether we require a presentation from you or brief one. Yeah. Yes, we do like to have a brief presentation from you. You have 5 minutes. Please start. Yeah.
Thank you. There are 8 variances before you to facilitate the construction of a 3-story detached dwelling on the subject site. There are variances related to FSI, side yard setbacks, building length and depth, front yard setback, and as well as the width of the stairs for the rear deck. If you could go to the first my presentation materials, the first slide, you'll see an area context map. And you'll also note the blue dots represents a letter of support. So you'll note that the support letters have been received from either adjacent properties in addition to properties across the street and also to the rear of the subject site as well. The properties that have been highlighted in green are those that are at 0.8 or above in terms of FSI. And the reason I chose 0.8 is because this dwelling itself is a house that complies with the zoning bylaw in terms of height. But it's the roof that is being occupied by livable space that creates a 0.93 FSI. I would submit to you, if you look at the elevations, that the subject site presents as a 2-story dwelling, and nobody would be the wiser if the 3rd story was occupied by livable space. And if that livable space was not occupied and it was just a standard attic, the FSI would come down to 0.75. So from a numerical perspective, this is just a number, and from a qualitative perspective, this presents itself as a 2-story dwelling, and nobody would be the wiser in terms of the streetscape and how it presents to the street. If you go back to the presentation slides, the second map shows those properties that have been highlighted in purple that have 1.5 meter side yard setbacks or less, and you'll find that it's pretty common, and it's a character of the neighborhood that's found in the neighborhood. If you go to the 3rd slide, you'll see a site plan, and the red dot or red line represents the existing dwelling on the property. You'll note that the proposed dwelling on the west side has basically mirrored the side yard setback on that side in terms of 1.22 meters. And you'll note that there's a shaded area, green shaded area at the bottom. That represents the extent of the dwelling that encroaches within the front yard setback. You're required 8.27, but the proposed is 7.6 for that shaded area. But you'll also note that the front yard setback, proposed front yard setback, is consistent with the adjacent dwellings and doesn't stick forward towards the streetscape. In addition to that, you'll also have a building length and depth variance. And what that is that there is a rear deck, which is pretty much at grade. There's about 3 steps elevated onto to the rear deck. The deck is excavated below, and as a result of that excavation, the zoning bylaw indicates that you have to calculate to the edge of the deck, which results in a building length number of 19.0, building depth number of 19.08, and building length number of 19.74. But if you go to the fifth slide, the side elevation, so the highlighted green area at the bottom represents the excavation below the deck as well, in addition to the basement. But what you see is that the house in principle is 17 meters, majority of it. There's a small orange sliver at the rear, which is at the center of the rear wall of the property that extends beyond the 17 meters. But I would submit to the committee that would be somewhat indiscernible from a streetscape perspective, in addition to the adjacent neighbors, because it is centered on the dwelling. You'll also note that the deck is uncovered. It's a completely uncovered deck, so there isn't any additional structures that extend beyond the rear wall of the dwelling. In addition to that, there's a rear yard setback variance, and that also is a result of the fact that the deck is excavated below, which calculates the rear yard setback to the edge of the deck as opposed to the rear wall of the dwelling. And if it was calculated to the rear wall of the dwelling, it would well exceed the 8.36 meter requirement for the rear yard setback. Now, I know we did speak with planning staff. Planning staff did not have any issues or concerns with this application. We are aware of forestry's comments, and there are 4 trees that are being proposed to be removed, possibly. If you go back to the site plan, which is the 3rd slide, there's tree number 1, which is the tree at the bottom in front of the garage, front of the driveway that's being removed. We have submitted an arborist report. The arborist report has found that this tree is rotting at the roots. There's fungi that's developed at the root line, and it's been recommended for removal. In addition to that, there's a second tree, tree number 2, which is directly in front of the house. This is an apple crab tree, which is also rotting at the trunk, and is also being recommended for removal. There's a final tree that relates to this development at tree number 3, which would be on the left side of the house, the left of the deck.
Up, so maybe you can
Sure.
The quick summation, yeah.
Sure. And if you look at the urban forestry comment or the memorandum, there is a picture of this tree, and you'll note that the stump, it's been pruned basically to the level or the roof line of the 2 dwellings at 16 and 14. And this was because it was causing damage to the existing dwellings on both the subject site and the dwelling at 18, which is the dwelling to the west. And as you recall, 18 is in support of this application. They also want this tree to be removed because it is causing damage, and it's because with the constant pruning, and if it's not pruned, it's touching their house and their rear wall. There's a final 4th tree at the northeast corner of the subject property, which is being recommended for removal. But however, I understand the neighbor wish to have this tree kept, and it does not impact the development in whatsoever in terms of construction. And so we'd be happy to maintain the tree. But it is just being recommended by our arborist to be removed because it is in poor condition. That's all that is.
Okay.
If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair, we can unmute the owner at 14 Silverwood Avenue. Jeffrey?
Me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, good. Hi, thank you for the time this morning. I'm in full support of everything that I've seen in these plans. Number one, I think it's a very elegant home that they are building, and I think it'll look very fit in nicely with the street. So no issues there whatsoever. I have met with the owner, and we've had good communication and very open about everything, and we're both on the same side and on the same page, so I see no worries there. As far as that tree goes in the northeast corner of their property, I am in favor of that being removed because it is rotting. I've had it looked at many times before with the previous owner because we've had to do a lot of pruning to get the branches away from our house and our property, and it was leaning over into our roof line. We had to cut a lot of branches back, and I did have the guy look at it as well. And he did tell me that it was rotting and probably had 5 years left of it, and that was about 4 years ago. So I'm totally in favor of that tree being removed as all the others. So in closing, I am in full support of this application, and I hope that I look forward to having this house next to us.
Thank you. So we have his first, last name and address, right? Do we?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, this was, we just heard from Jeffrey
Okay,
Wagman from 14 Silverwood Avenue.
okay, thank you. Yeah, any question to this speaker? No way. So, any other question to the applicant? No. All right, can we bring back the applicant? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, we don't have any more questions to you. Do you have anything else you want to address the panel before we move into discussion?
No, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, we have also the report from Urban Forestry. We're going to discuss that now. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we are in committee now. Yeah, the Urban Forestry will recommend to deny the 3 variances, or if we approve, they will want to impose, I think some conditions, 3 conditions or something. I forgot. Yeah, yeah, it's 3 conditions. So.
Yeah, I think the plans are tied into a lot of these variances, and so I have a bit of trouble with the application as a whole because of the forestry report. The only variance that to me is probably not a problem at all is the FSI. I think that's quite reasonable for the street, but I have a bit of trouble with the application.
Because of the
forestry primarily, yeah. And then you look at, for instance, the one that has the fungus at its base that's right at the road. It's an extremely large tree, and the application is removing it for a driveway into an integral garage. It's just hard to say that that's necessarily a desirable trade-off. Now, I'm not sure that that actually relates to any of the variances, but the application does. But the variances do affect some of those other surrounding trees.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we're going to impose, we are going to approve and impose the conditions of urban forestry. Will that affect the development, right, the plan? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there is a renovation, or if they want to tear down the existing house and reconstruct it, there is a reconstruction that could address all of these issues, you know, and increase the FSI, like I say, I think would be fine. I just don't think that it's really this plan that's going to
do it.
Remove basically every single tree on the lot. But I'm willing to be convinced if other members have a different view. I'm not set on this. It's just sort of my initial impression.
Yeah, my experience that when forestry actually come out to say condition 5, which is to refuse the application, is quite serious in terms of their perspective, I think. Yeah. Okay, any comment?
Yes, just through you, Madam Chair, I just would like to ask the staff if it's possible they put the forestry report number 2 that we dated June 28, 2024, so that
the supplemental in the supplemental.
Yeah, and I would like to know that if the agent had a chance to review this urban forestry recent report or not.
He seemed to have addressed that in his presentation, yeah, right? We can ask.
Through you,
we
Madam
can
Chair,
ask-
we can come out of committee and unmute the agent and ask
Yes.
them.
And, yeah, let's do that. Let's come out and then, yeah, with the agent, can you address the report, please?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, and thanks for the opportunity to speak on this. But so if you go through the report, and I understand the committee's concerns about urban forestry's concerns, what you have here is we're not looking to remove trees that are healthy, that are thriving in any sort of way. These trees are either in poor condition or as causing our safety issues. With regards to the first tree, which is the large tree block in front of the proposed driveway, there is fungus, there is root decay that is occurring currently on that tree. And once again, it is a large tree, and if there is a failure, it would cause a safety concern for not only my client's property, but also to the adjacent properties as well. So in addition to that, tree number 2, which is the apple crab tree directly in front of the house, is also another tree that is in poor condition as well. And my client has no problems in terms of replacing trees by providing funds for replacement street trees on the property. And with regards to the third tree, which is immediately adjacent to the proposed rear deck, if you look at the picture of the urban forestry report that's on page number 2, tree number 3, you'll note that the tree stump or the bark is completely exposed basically to the roof line, and then there's pines that are above the roof line. The reason being is because this tree is causing damage to the adjacent neighbor at 18 and in addition to the subject site. So it's been pruned up to that point, and it's basically a concern for both property owners to have this concern in terms of a safety, in terms of causing damage to their existing homes, and that they want to have this tree removed in addition to the fact that this is a poor condition tree. So we're not looking to just remove, blindly healthy trees off the property. There's reasons behind it, and those reasons were taken into consideration to ensure that yes, 1, we can take these trees down because of their condition. 2, it would help facilitate the proposed development, and which I would submit to you from a massing perspective, height perspective, length, and any other variances, which are primarily technical as a result of the excavated deck, that this house would present itself more than suitably with adjacent dwellings on the street, in addition to the overall neighborhood. And once again, these trees that are being removed, you heard from one of the neighbors at 14, basically requesting that this tree be removed at the northeast corner. It's the same situation for tree number 3, adjacent to the west property at 18, in addition to the front tree in front of the proposed garage, which is rotting and possibly going to fall down. And it's all contained within the arborist report that we had submitted.
Okay, thank you. But if you look at, I can see from your point of view, but if you look at the report, in urban forestry report, I mean, at least one tree, the privately owned tree that with the Norway spruce, it declared that it's very, very healthy.
Sorry.
My question is, have you been working this out with the urban forestry and you're in disagreement, or?
No. So we have been in contact with urban forestry, but obviously we haven't made any permit submissions because we weren't sure if this application would be is approved. Typically, you would submit these permit application once the committee of adjustment application is approved. You'll find in the urban forestry comments basically saying that if this application is approved, we have to submit the necessary permits and be in dialogue with urban forestry, which we obviously will be. So there are fail-safes in place basically to ensure if the urban forest, we still have to have dialogue with urban forestry, but these are concerns that urban forestry have provided to you. But in addition to that, we have made submissions with our professional arborists indicating that these trees are not healthy. They're requested to be removed by the neighbors, and we're more than happy to provide monies to provide replacement trees on the street. So these are not trees that are completely healthy, and they're not of a species, they're not an oak or a special species where it would be considered a high value tree. These are Norway maples, which, not my words, but I've heard city staff say these are weeds. But basically, this does not result in a development that is looking to clear cut a site in any way. There's a reason behind it, because these are trees are causes safety concerns and are in poor health.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and thank you. Any more question to the applicant now? We come back to
Question now.
yeah, we come back to committee now. What do you think, Philip? What I think is I actually share a lot of the concern, because every time they suggest condition 5, I always will read all the detail. But the condition, that's why the urban forestry condition is such that that's not they can still deny removal of any tree if they find that is not desirable.
Yeah, my understanding though is that when we approve, they are much less likely to deny.
Yeah.
And if the tree is truly dangerous, you can apply to take down the tree regardless of a committee application. So I wasn't hugely convinced by the answers we received. I think the situation is what it is. Urban forestry recommends against, but it is open to us to approve it and accept what their arborist report says, that most of these are bad trees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they put the conditions on, just in case if it's been approved, they still will have one way to protect some of these trees. Yeah. It's a very difficult. What are your thoughts?
What's my thought?
Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair. If I look at this application without the urban forestry, length, depth, FSI, side yard setback, even the rear ground floor deck stairs, the closeness to the side yard, to my eyes, it will be minor. And plus, when they have supportive neighbors, that just help. But at the same time, I cannot ignore the urban forestry report. So obviously they have concern about those trees. I mean, I listened to the applicant and the neighbors. They said that some of the trees are in very weak state and they need to be removed. But at the same time, we can refer to urban forestry as a professional people who can just give comments. So therefore, I agree with that report. If I get in a position to vote for this, I definitely refuse number 1, 6, and variance 1, 6, and 8. But apart from that, if there is no tree, I mean, when you look at this application, it's, to my eyes, it's minor.
Yeah, okay. They just recommend to remove those trees that might affect, I mean, the variance that might affect the trees, 1, 6, and 8, yeah. So we can still approve the application. Yeah.
I suppose my only comment is that, and I don't think I've ever disagreed with forestry before, but my only comment is that we do have an arborist report before us telling us that the trees are unhealthy, and that's evidence. And it's not clear in the forestry report why they've characterized trees as healthy. Like, I can't tell if they considered the arborist report or why they believed it.
They have the right to refuse third-party study.
Right, no, I understand that, but I wonder why, there's no basis in the report for their conclusions that it's healthy versus not healthy. So to me, the best evidence on the health of the trees is from the applicant, but I still understand the urban forestry's concern. It made me think whether it would make sense to and I don't know if urban forestry would do this, but it made me think whether it made sense to suggest deferring so they could try and hammer out some of these details with urban forestry as opposed to denying and starting again, if that is where the majority of us were going with those variances, because it seems like many parts of this project definitely can't go forward without the trees.
You mean that, defer it? Oh, no, we can.
Well, I was thinking about it, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I sort of think what urban forestry proposes to deny variances, is it 1, 5, and 8, or?
168.
168. Yeah.
I think I put 5 down because they sort of describe the variance that's number 5 when they're referring to variance number 6. So I think there was a bit of a mistake there. But,
Yeah.
but the issue with denying 1, 5, and 8, or 1, 6, and 8, whichever we do, is I think then that necessitates a whole redesign probably of the project anyway, and they might be back before us anyway. And so not to go out of committee again, but I might put it to the applicant, what do they prefer, for us to approve some of the variances but deny those variances, or a deferral?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think in this situation, you're either looking at a straight refusal of all
Yeah.
variances or a straight approval.
Yeah, that was sort
Given
of
the
what I
other
was leaning.
variances associated with, gross floor area, depth, and length. So I think that's what's before committee. I don't think we need to come out of committee and go back to the applicant. I think the committee members just need to decide on a motion at this point.
Yes.
So, just a quick question to you, Madam Chair, question for Madam Secretary Treasurer. So, Mr. Philip Ghosh had a good point. Variance number 5, also, if we want to deny variance number 6, if you want to deny variance number 1, does it affect variance number 5 as well?
Well, through you, Madam Chair, like I just stated, I think this is either a straight refusal of all 8 variances, or it's a straight approval of all 8 variances. I don't think in this situation that you can approve some and refuse others, because you do have variance number 4 that relates to floor space index.
Yeah, it is very interrelated, everyone.
And then you have depth and length as variances 2 and 3. So I think you have to review this as either a straight refusal or a straight approval.
Yeah, the other option is that deferral. We did not ask the applicant.
Through you, Madam Chair, I think at this point, a motion needs to come on the floor, and if it is a deferral, in order for the applicant to have further conversations with urban forestry and to maybe make further revisions, then that's the motion.
Another motion, yeah. Okay, now we need a motion. Yeah.
Well, I don't like to impose a deferral on someone, so I will actually move to deny, and we'll see if anyone wants to second it.
Yes, Ms. West want to second it. Okay, yeah. Let me, all in favor?
So that's
Still pass to what? I cannot vote. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, you're abstaining not to create a tie,
Create tie,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Because I do prefer a deferral, give them a second chance. That it is a shortened process for them. But it's okay, it's already denied, it's denied
Okay,
2-1.
so Member Wilkins is dissented, okay? And then Chair is abstained
Yeah.
not to create a tie, so
Yeah.
the application is refused.
Refuse, yes. Thank you. Thank you. The next item is the owner request a deferral. We haven't
Through you,
been
Madam
able to
Chair, we
contact
can
them.
unmute the agent at this point to hear their reasoning for deferral. We also have two registered speakers. We can hear both from them regarding the deferral request. So at this time, we'll unmute Michael.
Hello. I apologize for earlier. Someone from my office was logged in, but I guess they didn't get recognized. We, last week and a little bit the week before, we were making a few changes to the massing of the building in consultation with community planning. And I feel like we're almost there with them, but we wanted to give community planning a little bit more time to review the application with us. And so that's why we requested the deferral.
Oh, by the way, did you give us your first and last name and your address, your own address?
Michael Lafreniere,
yeah,
951 Ossington Street.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, all right, yeah, so that's it, right? Do we have any question for the deferral? Anyone, no one wants to speak for that, right?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, we do have two registered speakers, so we can unmute them and just ask them if they support the deferral request.
Yes.
So the first is the owner at 343 Jones Avenue. Richard?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
We just want to,
Hi.
yeah, we just want to ask you your comment on the deferral only, yeah. The deferral
Okay, thank you.
request.
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Richard K. Terry. I am the planning for the French Catholic School Board at 343 Jones Avenue. Basically, on the defer, we just wanted more communication with the builder in terms of the bathrooms on the third floor, because they're right against my third floor windows for the school, and that school is basically just kindergarten. So we just want to just have more communication in terms of just having those windows to be opaque.
Yeah, so you are in support of a deferral. We don't need to go.
Yes, I am in support of a deferral.
Yeah,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you agree with the deferral, we don't need to get into detail because you got the chance.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
Madam Chair, I am in support for the deferral. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair, we will now unmute the owner at 347 Jones Avenue. Robin?
Hello.
Yes, the same
Hi.
question to you. We are only discussing the deferral request. Yeah.
Yes, I'm in support of the deferral.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So
Okay, we'll go back to the agent.
Yeah.
I think everyone's in support of the deferral, so.
Okay, thank you. So we are in committee now. Okay, we have motion?
I'll move to defer this application to another date. I think it's a good idea so that the applicant can work on modifications to the plans, and I would encourage the applicant to speak with especially the owners who took the time to attend today to see if their concerns can be addressed.
Yes. So anyone second?
Sure.
Yes. Mr. Goss, a second. All in favor of deferral? Yeah. Oh, it's deferred. Thank you. Now we have.
Through you, Madam Chair, maybe we'll take a 10-minute break at this time,
Yes.
and then we'll proceed with item number 11.
All right, thank you.
Members can turn off their videos and turn off your microphones. Okay. We're good on YouTube? Mute rooms at, okay, members, if you can turn on your videos, turn on your microphones, and
Yes.
then we can proceed.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Item 11 is 26 Galbraith Avenue. For this, is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling, which is a duplex, with a front integral garage and a front cover porch, and a rear first floor walkout and a rear second-story deck. This dwelling will have a total of 2 residential units. We also have received a survey site plan, floor plans and elevations, revised site plan and floor plan elevations, and a revised zoning notice. 9 photographs of 3 of the on the property and 5 photographs of the nearby property. Decision affecting the applications. And we received comment from community planning and transportation and also urban forestry. We received support from 2164 Galbraith Avenue and also 74 from Yardley Avenue. Yeah. And we have also received concern letter from 28th, and opposition we received quite a few, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 oppositions. Yeah. Yep.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online. We also have a number of registered speakers in opposition. So we'll unmute the agent at this time.
Okay.
Leo Mastrandrea.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leo Mastrandrea. I am the agent for the owners at 26 Galbraith
Hello, Leo.
Ave.
Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
Or the speakers, because it looked like he
Hello?
was talking in WebEx, but we weren't hearing.
I'm just checking with staff that's listening from YouTube and WebEx to see if they can hear us. Speakers are on. Sound on, but it's not working, right? Or is it just me?
Hello? Yeah. It doesn't seem, I have it on. Hello, testing.
They can hear us on WebEx.
Our phone is not working.
I think it's the speakers in the room.
Yeah. Can we try unmuting Leo?
Hello?
Hi, Leo, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Okay, let's just hold.
Can you hear me?
Get this fixed.
Hello? Hello?
We could unmute one of the laptops to see if.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Unmute mine is connected to the phone using. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I unmuted mine. Maybe someone can.
Hello?
Okay, we're just contacting IT so that we can get this issue resolved.
Oh, you think that maybe?
No, don't touch anything. We'll get them to come back.
Oh, it's maybe I push something here.
Sound from the microphones?
Hello? No.
Yeah, and whoever's speaking from WebEx, we're not.
Is this anything that I kick? I didn't think I kicked anything, but kind of strange to have it under your desk.
Hello, can someone hear me? Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Hello? Maybe, I don't know what else to do. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Huh? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? What should I do? I'm logging it on. Well, they're experiencing.
Yeah.
Let me just finish here.
Okay, put on your videos, turn on your videos. Microphones. Okay, so we will proceed with item number 11,
11, yeah.
and it's 26 Galbraith Avenue. We do have the agent online, and we do have a number of registered speakers to speak in opposition. So Leo, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you. Thank
Yes,
you.
that's good. Yeah, Leo, before we start, I know that you have made some revisions of the variances. Can we go through those first? The revisions?
Yes. Yes, we can. Initially, in speaking with the planning department, they wanted me to remove number 4, which was the main wall, which was their only concern. So we did remove that. In addition, transportation wanted us to reduce the driveway width to 4 meters, which is number 2. So that was based on the city comments, was number 2 and number 4 to be both, number 2 was changed from 4.62 to 4.0, and number 4 was removed as per concerns from staff. In addition, after reading all the opposition letters, we decided to improve our application and improve number 3, which changes our coverage from 45.56 to 40.81, which equals to 125.14 square meters.
Yes.
In addition, in regards to the neighbors concerned, we removed number 5, number 6, and improved number 7 to read as located 1.22 to be located 1.83 and located 0.48 to be located 0.92. So based on the concerns from the neighbors, we revised the variances to as you see on the screen there.
Okay, thank you. So you have 5 minutes to give us your presentation, please.
Yes, so we're here to construct a new detached dwelling, and to address some of these city's concerns, we created a duplex to have a unit as well in the basement. I believe now with the revisions, we're in keeping with what's been approved in the area. I did submit some decisions on Galbraith that was approved at 40, I believe it was 42%. I submitted page number 1 of my supporting material, 98 Galbraith, was approved at 43% coverage. The deck platform essentially is the ground floor platform, and because of the technical definition of the basement, it's considered a second story. So that's why number 1 is high. But if we would make it a condition to provide privacy screening, and I believe, based on these revisions and comments from staff, I think our application is appropriate and does meet the 4 tests of the Planning Act.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I can answer them.
Okay, can you elaborate on the private screen you're proposing for variance 1, the location and where, can you tell us where?
Yes, so the privacy screening could be on the east and west side of the deck at 1.5 meters high.
Okay, it's a second story deck, right? Okay.
Well, it's coming from the ground floor, but if you look at the elevation on the rear elevation, page number A9 or A8, you can see that, so the deck is coming from the ground floor, essentially, but because of the definition of the basement, it's considered the second floor. But we don't have a second floor terrace.
Okay, thank you. That's great. All right, any questions? have the other speakers first.
Yes, okay. For those that are here in person, I'll have you one by one come up to the podium here, and you'll state your first and last name, address, and then you'll have 5 minutes each to speak to the application. So one at a time.
Hello, my name is Bob Maurice. I live at 36 Galbraith Avenue.
Yes.
I'm concerned about this duplex because it's extending far too much into the backyard. It blocks off all of the sunlight going into the backyard. It almost reduces everything that their neighbors can see. They're almost blocked in on both sides, on number 24 and number 28. They are totally isolated with this great big duplex they're putting in. I'd sooner see this just left as the way it is without building the duplex at all. Parking could also be a problem there because they have a fire hydrant right in front of their house where they're going to build this duplex, and makes it very difficult to park in that area. And my own personal concern is once we start to make duplexes there, what happens to the next single-family dwelling? These things are going to get more expensive and going to make it more difficult for people to move in. And those are my concerns.
I have one question to you, just probably I'll ask other speakers too. Do you notice that he has made some revision, the applicant is to reduce the scope, sort of like he sort of did, the wall is not, the exterior wall is shorter, you know. Do you think those will improve the?
No, I don't.
Yeah, okay.
No.
You don't, okay, thank you.
I have a question. So you're mentioning how it will affect the immediate next-door neighbors, but you're not a next-door neighbor, are you?
No, I'm not.
How many houses away are you?
I'm at number 36, and we're talking about number 26, where they're going to make the construction, so just a few houses down the street.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
No further questions?
No.
Okay. We'll have the next speaker come up.
Hi,
Yes.
my name's Frank Jumar. I live at 44 Galbraith Avenue. And my concerns are, this street is a single dwelling, basically, area. And bringing these duplexes in, and right where it's located at Galbraith and Barron, there's a lot of traffic right there. And I think, you know, when you have, you know, more families, more cars, it's gonna bring, you know, a lot of congestion to that area. And also I understand that they dropped down on the variance, but if they could go down to 35, you know, because, you know, these single houses, I live in one, and I wouldn't want somebody, you know, right beside me, you know, gonna be blocking all the, you know, daylight and whatever. That's, you know, my basic concerns.
You are at 40?
44.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Do you have questions? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave.
so what we're here today isn't to decide whether or not duplexes should go into your neighborhood. because there's a citywide policy that now a fourplex can go anywhere. So a fourplex could go on any lot in your neighborhood. It's not something that would come to us for an adjustment, that would just be allowed. And so I'm just wondering if you have any concerns with any of the actual variances that are listed.
Well, I heard it was up at 45%. Now it went down to about 40. I'd like to see it go down to 35.
Oh, the lot coverage, you're worried about the
Yeah.
lot coverage?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I see. So if we go down to 35, they do not need that variance. Okay.
Yeah, you know, like if you have limits, I think you should try and stick within them. You know, I've seen some other places on another street behind where he was gonna lose part of his driveway. Like my neighbor, he has 2 feet of my driveway, and, you know, we should work together, you know, try and keep them in there. Like this other guy, he wasn't even gonna be able to back out of his garage. And now they put everything on hold, so, you know, it's just for the people that live there. I think, you know, we should have some concern.
Yes, thank you. Any questions?
No, I can just.
Yes,
Through you,
please.
Madam Chair, just a comment. You said you have concern about sunlight.
Well, yeah,
This application doesn't have any height variance. So, and then your property probably is like few on the east side, like maybe 5, 6 property on the east side. So even, I mean, and just want to draw your attention that we don't have any height variance on this application.
oh, I
It's
see.
not a tower.
But for the people that are right beside them, I think they're gonna be affected.
Yeah, but as of right, they can, as my colleague mentioned, as of right, they can
They can
build up
build.
to that height. So just
So
a
even
comment.
even fourplexes, they can put in our streets now.
Apparently,
That's
this
what you were
is,
saying.
Yes.
this is it. Yeah.
But this one is a duplex, it's only two
Yeah.
dwelling. This one
I
is
know.
not duplex.
And he
But-
didn't, and this application doesn't go beyond the height that they're allowed. Just a comment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any question to this speaker? Any more? Okay, thank
See
you.
none? Okay, next
Okay.
speaker here that's in person? Anybody else that wishes to speak to this item? See none? Okay. So we're gonna go to those that are online. So Patrick?
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Pino.
Hi, Patrick,
Peter.
just a little bit louder.
Sorry, just changed my mic. My name is Patrick Pino. I am personally located at 3 Hounslow Heath Road in Toronto. I'm here as an agent to the registered owner of 24 Galbraith Avenue, the immediate western neighbor of the subject lands here. So generally, as noted in our letter to the committee and the letters of many other concerned neighbors, this application consists of a number of variances and proposes a rather large duplex, which is out of character for the neighborhood, and Galbraith Avenue in particular. And it would be an outlier, setting an unfavorable precedent for the neighborhood, which largely consists of single-family homes, which these single-family homes are largely bungalows with some 2-story homes. As identified in these letters, and as we've heard this afternoon already, particularly as identified by Mr. Maurice earlier, where he made mention to the immediate neighbors, the nature of these variances individually and cumulatively amount to an overdevelopment. And this would propose to create a large wall dominating the side yard of the property at 24 Galbraith, which significantly extends past the rear wall of the house at 24 Galbraith. These variances also include reduced lot frontage below the standards in the zoning bylaw, reduced minimum lot area, setbacks, and other considerations which have the potential to impede future developments on our lot. And this second-story deck is proposed at a height, or sorry, an area much greater than what is allowed under the zoning bylaw, which directly overlooks into the yards of 24 and 28 Galbraith, with a proposed privacy screen that does not fully address the privacy concerns relating to the overlook directly into the yard of 24 Galbraith. As you'll see in the site plan there, they don't have a garage on their side, for example, that's blocking sight lines into their yard.
Thank you.
In addition to the application being a development not aligned with the character of the neighborhood, it would have those direct, significant, and adverse impacts to the use and enjoyment of 24 Galbraith. And another item that can't be glossed over is the large increase to the maximum driveway width, which has the potential to decrease green space on the property as visible from the street, with a large front garage that doesn't fit the character of the neighborhood. As you'll see in the overhead, that most of these properties have garages at the rear. And altogether, these variances greatly impact the sight lines and block sunlight from the neighboring properties on both sides for significant periods of the day, negatively impacting their mature gardens and enjoyment and use of their backyard. And based on the nature of these variances, they don't appear to be minor in nature, and don't have appropriate consideration for the character of the neighborhood. And we understand that a staff report from the city was shared. However, it doesn't appear that this reflects the current makeup. It doesn't appear that this addresses the concerns raised by neighbors, and the report doesn't reflect the current makeup of the community.
Thank you. And any question to this speaker?
I just missed what his address was.
Yeah, sorry. My address is 3 Hounslow Heath Road, Toronto.
Thank you.
Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, but
Yes.
he is speaking on behalf of the owners at 24 Galbraith.
Oh, thank you. That was,
Yeah, which is next.
Apologies for the misunderstanding.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, if there's no further questions, then we can go back to the agent.
Okay, please, yeah, let's bring back the agent. And can you address to the concerns that raised? Yeah, please, yeah.
So in the changes we made to the notice, I did read the letters from the neighbors, and that's why we improved the application. We reduced the building length by approximately 1 meter. We removed both side yard setbacks. The reason why our driveway is to protect the tree that's existing, and we comply with the front yard and rear yard landscaping. We comply with the rear yard setback. We comply with the heights. Essentially, I think I've improved this application fairly substantially, considering we removed 3 out of the 7 and improved the other 3. The deck, although it's considered a second-story deck, is basically coming from the ground floor. And I believe by providing privacy screening, it should address their concerns. This application is consistent with what's been approved on Galbraith, and the coverage. And if you have any other questions, I can answer them. But in reading the neighbors' concerns, that's why we reduced and improved the application as best we could to address their concerns.
I have one question. You did mention that you reduced the depth of the building by about 1 meter, but you never have a depth variance, right? You just reduced it.
Oh, we never had a depth variance, but in consideration to their concerns, by reducing the coverage from 45.56 to 40.81, one of the things was that we reduced the depth by a meter and reduced the side and improved the side yard setback to remove the variances.
I see. Oh, that's the result. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's why you can remove the 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah.
And are you aware of, and would you accept the planning staff condition and the transportation staff conditions?
The thing, I do accept the planning, transportation's condition, but the planning staff, that was prior to us making those further revisions. Planning staff only concern was the height, the main wall height, which is variance number 4. So after we submitted that to planning and they were okay, then after I read all the letters from the neighbors, we made further reductions. So I don't think tying us to those drawings would make sense, because we resubmitted on June 25th. And that agreement with planning was June 20th. And we did, if you read the letter, they said to remove the main wall, variance number 4, the main wall height.
Through you, Madam Chair, if you wish to approve on the condition of tying to site plan and elevation plans, you can do the most recent revised plans dated June the 26th,
Yeah, June 26th.
which would reflect the revisions that the agent has outlined today.
The revised drawings or just the plan you said? The site plan?
You have the option of tying the revisions to the revised site plan and elevation plans if you wish.
Yeah.
But you just would not be using the wording from the planning report.
Yes.
And it would be the plans dated June the 26th.
Is it, Madam Secretary Treasurer, through the chair, is it accurate what he said, though, that report was June 20th, these revisions were June 26th, so?
Yes, based on the dates that we've received the revisions, yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Okay, no, any, you have, okay, now we are in committee, yeah.
I have a comment to start, which is we received quite a large number of correspondence in concern or in opposition beyond even the people who spoke today, and then form letters as well. And one of the main concerns is this concern about suitability for the neighborhood of having something that's larger than a bungalow, suitability for the neighborhood of having a duplex. And I just do think it's worth repeating that those issues are not actually before the committee today. Those are allowed in this area as of right, and there's no impact that this decision would have in either direction on those aspects. I also would like to mention something about precedent, because that's come up in a lot of the letters and also was sort of part of what the applicant did, was they put some previous decisions in their materials saying, look, we've approved these other things. The committee is not actually bound by precedent, and in fact is not supposed to consider precedent. We're supposed to consider every application in its own right. So seeing previous decisions actually isn't helpful, but I would make the distinction that the neighborhood context is relevant. So for instance, the neighbor photos that were provided, that is relevant. It's just the previous decisions of, you know, you've approved 45% before is not.
Yeah.
And I say that because hopefully it gives a bit of comfort to the opponents as well, that we're not creating a precedent. We're going to always be required to consider every one of these applications on its merits. And considering it on its merits, I agree with the submissions that were made, that I think the plans have been improved in response to neighbor comments. And if you look at the actual variances sought that remain, they're all quite small, and the impact of them, I think, is quite minimal. particularly the privacy screen helps with the platform variance, so to
Yes.
me, it's supportable.
Yes, okay, thank you. And any other comment? Okay, so, yes,
Oh,
please. Yes, please.
Just through you, Madam Chair, I agree that this application substantially revised, and now we are only have a application with 3 variances that, actually 4 variances, and 3 of them have been also modified, 3 of them have been eliminated, and and I believe that if we want, since we removed variance 4, 5, 6, I don't see any reason we tie to elevations, but site plan, probably it's a good idea to the revised site plan June 26th. But I think this revised application is minor to my judgment.
Yes.
And transportation comment, I know that they already modified variance 2, but still we can tie to that because of the second condition that is there to cover that, I think. But overall, I think they done a very good job of revising this application to satisfy everyone.
Yes. Okay, yeah, any other comments? Yeah?
Yeah, I tend to agree with what both of my colleagues have said, and I just want to make the point that where if the committee approves the application, I still think the participation of the neighbors had a really big and profound result here, because it did result in a really significant change to something that is much more in keeping with the bylaws and the official plan than what it started with.
Yes, it is true. It's a big, I just maybe the neighbors do not see it yet because they have to take time to understand the revision. The revisions and reduction actually have reduced the scope of the building quite a lot in this case, yeah. It is a smaller building, and they're looking for, the only one variance that stands out is the coverage. They're only now looking for 5.8% increase in terms of coverage, not before, as like about
10%.
10, yeah, the 10%, yeah. So, okay, do we have a motion then? Yeah, before they're asking for 45, it's a 10% increase. Now in terms of coverage, variance number 3, yeah.
Sure, I'll move to approve it, subject to the transportation conditions, and I'll tie it to the site plan.
An amended agenda.
As amended.
And
the
also,
amended,
I think that,
notice.
I think is the private screen already there, or do we have to put it a condition?
Through you, Madam Chair, I would suggest to include it, just to
Yeah.
be on the safe side,
Yeah.
and I believe urban forestry number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so as well, my motion is subject to urban forestry condition number 1, and I'll add a condition that there be a privacy screen to the to the east and west sides of the platform that's described as a second floor platform.
Okay.
To a height of 1.5 meters.
Yeah, thank you. And 1 second, Ms.
Yes.
Retz?
And then
Second.
also, sorry, just,
Yes.
he also mentioned that it's also tied to revised plan dated June 26, correct?
I had not
You
given
didn't
the
say?
date, but I appreciate that, and I consider that an amendment to my motion. I agree.
Perfect, thank you, then I'll second it.
Okay.
Second that
Yeah,
motion.
it's a second, and all in favor with the amended agenda and all the conditions? All in favor, all is approved, thank you. With all the conditions and revised application, yeah. Okay, thank you. The next item is number 12, 1030 Dawes Road. This is to, sorry, let me see. This is to alter the development plan for mixed-use building, consists of 2 towers, 24 and 38 stories, and a 6-story podium. And this has got its own site-specific bylaw, and they're asking to increase the height of the south tower 38 to 43 story, and increase in GFA and change the height of the proposed podium north tower from ranging from 0.2 to 2.3 meter, and to alter the envelope of a portion of the rear west podium main wall and a reduction in residential vehicle parking. On here, we also receive a site plan, floor plans, and elevations, cover letter from agent, planning rationale from the agent, arborist report of, and a permit, tree removal permit, traffic parking study, functional space, stormwater management from the agent, presentation material from the agent, site-specific bylaw, and revised diagram 4 of the site-specific bylaw. We received comment from transportation and a staff report from community planning. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Yeah, do we
Sorry,
have-
through you, Madam Chair, it's Heritage Preservation Services report,
Okay.
as well as Metrolinx report.
Oh, we-
I'm going to ask the presenter just to present on the screen from the very late materials. It's a revised report from community planning.
Okay.
They just included some additional information as there for the condition number 1. So it states prior to the issuance of the first above-grade building permit, and then they added related to the additional height and density sought for the south tower. So if the committee finds merit to approve this application on condition with community planning, that it's this report here that was received July the 3rd.
July the 1st, we will include that as a condition, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And then through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay, thank you. So it's a complex building, maybe you can give us a very brief presentation. Just, so because you're asking for, where is a height increase?
Yes, I'd be happy to, and first I'll state my name for the record. So my name is Ryan Doherty. I'm a land use planner with Bouse Fields, agent to the application. My address is 3 Church Street, Suite 200. I did prepare a presentation package, if we could pull that up on the screen, and I will be as brief as I can. And yes, just thank you to staff for highlighting the revised community planning report, which came in this morning. So just by way of background, the site did receive zoning approval in 2022 to allow for 2 towers of 24 and 38 stories atop a shared podium. The site is currently under construction. The variances today would allow for an increase in height of the south tower from 38 to 43 stories, which is a 5-story, 17.3 meter increase, and a corresponding increase in permitted density. This application also requests several technical variances, including adjustments to the heights of the podium floors and the north tower. Those are required to provide additional vertical clearance for structural transfer elements. And we are also seeking a reduction in the required amount of residential vehicle parking. It's a reduction of about 14 spaces. We have worked with city staff to land on an agreeable list of variances in addition to a section 45.9 contribution. Community planning have written a report which recommends approval of the variances and a section 45.9 contribution amount that we are in support of. So if we could go to the next slide, I'll just highlight that the site is in the Main and Danforth area, which is one of the most transit accessible locations in the city. It is within walking distance of both the Main Street subway station and Danforth GO station, and it is within a major transit station area. On the following slide, which is a height map, so the proposed 43-story height of the south tower, it continues to fall within the context of tall buildings at Main and Danforth. This includes existing approved and proposed buildings to the east and west, which range up to approvals of 39 stories and proposals of up to 55 stories. The proposal continues to be buffered from low-rise residential areas by way of Danforth Avenue to the north. There's an adjacent Minto development directly to the east, which is up to 33 stories, and then the rail corridor to the south. We could go to the table of variances. I'll just speak to those very briefly. So a total of 5 variances are being requested. These include the various height increases, an overall increase in density of about 1,642 square meters, which is about 3.7%. An increase in the residential density, which is a little bit higher because of the delta of res and non-res. And then the reduction in required vehicle parking, which is about 14 spaces. And then there is also a small alteration to the rear podium main wall. This application does not require any variances to things like amenity space, bicycle parking, loading spaces. If we go to the next slide, which is the revised diagram 4, this shows the changes to the permitted zoning envelope. I'll just highlight the rear podium main wall, which I spoke to, which is at the top left of the diagram. I believe it's on the next page. And this is required to accommodate an enclosed stairwell and associated structural slab that were not coordinated at the time of the rezoning application. And we've since worked through site plan, the building's now under construction, and so adjustments need to be made to accommodate that. And again, the increased height for the podium in the north tower, those range between 0.2 to 2.3 meters. And they're primarily required to accommodate additional vertical clearances for structural transfer, particularly given the increased height of the south tower in some areas. So I'll just wrap up here, and I'm happy to answer any questions. We are of the opinion that these variances should be evaluated based on their impact, and on that basis are minor in nature. The proposal will result in additional housing in close proximity to existing higher order transit, as well as the commercial and open space offerings along Danforth and in the surrounding neighborhood, while still respecting the pattern of heights that are anticipated in this area. So thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do have a question. You just mentioned you're looking for 5 variances? I think on our agenda it's only 4. I just want to clarify that.
There should be 5.
But on our agenda, it listed 4. That's why I'm a little bit
It might just be the way that
what is missing?
it might just be the way that they're written in terms of the height variances are, the height and setback variances are all captured on the revised diagram.
Oh, as long as you're happy with that, that's what we're going to approve. We're not the 5, but this is the.
Yeah, I don't have the actual notice
Can
in
we
front of,
put,
perhaps
yeah,
could we zoom
put
in
it-
just
yeah,
to be
yeah,
sure?
zoom in, yeah, that's the thing. We only have 4.
I can't see the screen, so.
3, Madam Chair, I'll
Yeah.
help you.
Okay.
Variance number 1
Yeah.
is for the maximum permitted gross floor area of all buildings.
Yes.
And structures on the lot. Variance number 2 is the maximum permitted gross floor area for residential uses on the lot. Variance number 3 captures the maximum permitted height of building structures under the revised diagram 4. And variance number 4 reflects parking spaces for residential occupants.
Yes, so that is correct. Thank you for
Okay,
clarifying.
thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
you'll figure out the 5th then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the diagram incorporates the height and the setbacks at the various heights.
Yeah, and just for clarification, so the one change that I guess is not in this list is that rear podium main wall, but there's actually no setback dimension tied to that, nor was there ever a dimension, so I suppose it might not technically be a variance, but yes.
I've got a couple of questions. So is it fair to say that all of the increased density in terms of new units is in the south tower?
Yes.
Okay, and I know it was in your planning report, but how many new units are in that tower?
It would be 57.
Yeah. Was there any consideration to elevator capacity?
Yes, we did look at this. So as a development overall, there's 6 elevators, there's 688 units. I believe that works out to about 115 units per elevator. Just looking at the south tower, it's about 124
Units per
elevator.
Elevator,
yes.
yeah.
So this increase in units are sort of like combination of different sizes, or just small
So the site-specific bylaw requires 27% two bedrooms and 10%
so
three
you-
bedrooms,
you are-
and
you-
that mix would be maintained.
Yeah,
yeah.
you maintain that, okay,
Yes.
good, yeah, that's a good. Okay, any more questions to the applicant? No more questions, we are in committee now.
So the rule of thumb for a good elevator, although there are differences, is 100 units per elevator. And so this addition of 57 sort of bumped it from being a good ratio in the South Tower to being not as good ratio in the South Tower. And certainly I'd want to live in the North Tower, not the South Tower. But that being said, there's no opposition to this. I'm sure that's something that comes with the location being not built up with residential yet, but still, that's a good thing. And I do think, on balance, the added density is probably desirable in this location that's so well connected by transit. But 124 per elevator is right on the borderline, because we have to consider, in terms of what's desirable, the life of the people that will move
Yeah.
into developments as well. But I think it's on the border, and I'd find it supportable.
Yeah. Oh, is there a regulation, how many
There's no
units per-
regulation,
so
there's
it's
no
just-
regulation, it's just an industry standard.
Oh, I see, okay, I see. Then I didn't know how much is a good number. Yeah. So any other comments? Okay, since no other comment, are you ready to make a motion?
Sure, yeah, I would move to approve this, subject to the planning condition as set out in the revised report of July 3.
Oh, is it replacing the original report? Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, it's
Okay,
a revision to the original report, so
Okay.
it's dated today's date,
Okay,
July the 3rd.
today's- Yeah, that's okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, so anyone want second Philip's motion? Ms. West, second, all in favor with the condition? Okay. You still seconding it? Yes. Okay, second and all in favor with the condition. Thank you, approved. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Okay, the next item is number 13, 39 Beechwood Drive. This is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a new rear one-story addition with an entrance. The existing rear one-story addition, which the entrance will be demolished. We have received a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, and 3 photographs of the property and 9 photographs of trees relating to the property, and TRCA permit. And we also received a report from Natural Ravine Feature Protection, Urban Forestry, and advisory staff report from Metrolink.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Yes, okay.
Hello?
Hello, can you give us your name and address? Yeah, please.
Yes, I'm Daniel Allen, the applicant. My address is 66 Motor Avenue in Brampton.
Mm-hmm. And with straightforward application, and you have no opposition. I'm going to check with the panel whether they want a presentation from you first. You need a presentation? No, we do not need a presentation. Do you have questions for the applicant? No way. Okay, we do not have any questions. We are ready to move it into discussion. Do you have anything you want to address the panel before we do that?
No, it's
No.
good. It's okay.
Okay, it's okay. So now we are in committee. I think this is a straightforward. I don't think it will create any negative impact or significant impact. Yeah, so let's have a motion. Then. You want? Yeah, Ms. West, I can see your hand. Yeah, okay, please, yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, as you mentioned, it's a very straightforward and it's minor, And therefore, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with no condition.
Yes. Anyone second? Yeah, Mr. Wilkins second. All in favor with no conditions? Oh, it's approved. Thank you. For the next item is 97 Spruce Hill Road. This is to construct a new two-story auxiliary building which contains a one-car garage and a laneway suite. And the existing shed will be demolished. On this, we have received a survey site plan, floor plans, elevations, and revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have received correspondence from the agent and also an arborist report. From community planning, we have received a report, and also from urban forestry. We received 3 addresses of support on Beechwood and Spruce Hill Road.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay.
Craig Race, you've been unmuted.
However,
Sorry, you need to speak louder. We can't hear you. Let's try again. Craig Race?
sorry guys, I'm in committee.
Still can't hear you.
Sorry, I think I should recuse myself from this item as well.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just turn off. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I just,
So this is item 14.
okay. All right.
Okay, let's try again. Craig Race, can you hear us?
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, just a little bit louder.
How's that? Is that better?
Perfect.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
good, that's good, yeah.
Apologies, committee members.
Yes.
So if staff could please pull up our presentation material, but this is Craig Race, by the way, architect for the project on behalf of the owners.
Can you give us also your address, your business address?
100 Lombard Street, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay,
And
thank
through
you.
you, Madam Chair, no registered speakers for
Yeah,
this
there
item.
aren't any other speakers or opposition, so I'm going to see whether the panel requires presentation first. You guys want to have a presentation? No, do you have any question to the to the applicant? No. Okay, we do not have, we do not need a presentation, or we have no questions. Do you have anything you want to address to the panel before we move into discussion?
Provided the committee will be approving, I have nothing to say. If there are any concerns, I'd be very happy to weigh
No,
in.
we're
or
going to
give a
discuss
presentation.
this, yeah, okay. No specific thing you want to address the panel, right?
Perhaps I'll just quickly note, there are mature trees in the area, all of which are being protected.
Okay.
We specifically crafted the footprint to be beyond the required tree protection zones and consulted with forestry. We've also spoken to neighbors and planning about the application, all of whom seem to be in favor. And although there are 3 variances, they're all only triggered because of separation from the main house,
I see.
which is measured to the point of a small triangular single-story rear addition that's existing. If that rear addition were to be demolished, this application will be fully as of right. We could actually build a slightly larger laneway suite if that addition were to not exist. The purpose of this application is to preserve the soft landscaping and open space around that rear addition that already exists, but simply use minor variances in order to minimize construction impact.
Okay, thank you. I do have
Thank
one
you.
question to you. You have a revised, a set of revised plans. Can you tell us why that you have the revised?
Yes,
plans? Yeah.
through our consultation with planning, resulted in fine-tuning the dormer that projects through the angular plane. That was narrowed slightly so that it's 30% of the building width, which is what the bylaw would typically require. However, it did not eliminate the variance, again, due to the separation from the main house. So no change to the variances.
Okay, and then the revision, because of the discussion with community planning after the discussion, right? Or,
Yes, that's correct.
okay, thank you. That's all I want to know. Yeah, and, yeah, you have questions?
Yes, yes, through you, Madam Chair. Just a question or clarification regarding the forestry report, because originally we have a condition 2 of forestry, and based on my note, then later on, this condition have been changed?
Forgive me, what is the current condition being applied?
I think based on I think this application, which is application 14, based on my list, it was first subjected to urban forestry condition number 2.
I do not have that. Do we have that
Yeah.
in a report? Yeah.
Forestry too.
And then later I just write a note that this condition have been removed? No? So then that's not that's not right?
No, through you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Urban Forestry is recommending condition number 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Still current,
yes.
oh, okay.
It's on the screen.
It's on there. Oh, okay.
Okay, then
Yeah,
I
it's
get my
forestry,
answer.
yes. So we put in forestry condition 2 then, yeah.
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, through you, Madam Chair, they've submitted revised plans
Yeah.
in discussions with community planning, so you do
Yeah.
have that option of tying them
Tied to
to
the revised plan.
revised elevation plans if
Yeah.
you see fit.
Yeah, so do we need to say we see the date? You have the dates, right, the revised, okay.
Forgive me, Madam Chair, there are no variances associated with window openings or any other portion of the plans. This was simply to coordinate with our discussion with planning. Perhaps the condition could be to ensure the dormer is a maximum 30%, but not tie to plans, simply because the elevations are not fully resolved at this point. We were not informed they had to be by planning.
Oh, so, what do I mean?
Through you, Madam Chair,
Yeah.
typically when committee ties the approval to plans is substantially in accordance with,
Yeah.
so there can be some minor changes
Mhm.
as long as there's no additional variances being created and it meets the building code.
Mhm. Okay,
So
but I
if the
think we
revised
should-
plans are showing 30%,
Mhm.
as per the discussions with Committee of Adjustment, I don't see that there can be an issue if you tie
Yeah.
it to the elevation plans.
Yeah,
We have had issues with, if a window were to be relocated, for example, that would preclude us from redesigning the elevations. I would recommend we simply stipulate the dormer be a maximum 30% as a condition, or perhaps tie to site plan 1 on drawing Z00, but no other drawings, if we could, please.
That's tied to the site plan, or is that enough, Deputy Secretary? What-
Through you, Madam Chair, again, I don't understand why there would be an issue
Mhm.
with window openings,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't create additional variances and it's to the code, the building code.
Okay, we should tie
Because
them to
that's,
the
yeah.
revised drawing.
But,
Okay,
I mean, if the agent is requesting that it be tied to the site plan and it shows and identifies this change that's been discussed with community planning, then that should be suffice.
oh, okay, to the site, all right. Thank you, yeah, so you're clear, right? You put the
Yes,
condition. Okay,
I
thank you.
understand.
So, we are in committee now, right? If you have no more questions, we are in committee, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yes.
If I'm reading the drawings correctly, I mean, I don't always agree with applicants when they describe variances as technical when they want to apply, because the laneway suite is, not quite far enough away and the height changes, but I think this property, the shape of it makes that argument more compelling in this case, the back of the rear, the back of the main dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, this does really, to me, look like a mostly compliant laneway suite. And so, seen in that way, I don't really see a big adverse impact. But if I were to move a motion, which I'm happy to do, I would like to implement the conditions expressed by planning in the June 25th, 2024 report, and subject to forestry condition 2.
Yes. So it is the same as to tie to the site plan, the community planning report. What is
The conditions in that report are the building shall be constructed substantially in accordance with drawing number Z 0.6 west elevation and Z 0.7 south elevation, dated June 24, 2024, and then the existing artificial turf in the rear yard shall be replaced with soft landscaping as demonstrated in drawing 0 or Z 0.0.
Yeah, okay, we adopt that report, I think.
And the
because
forestry?
more- Yeah, he mentioned that. So you want a second? Ms.
I'll
West,
second it, yes.
All in favor with the conditions?
Yes.
Thank you. Approve with the conditions, yeah. Okay, we can get back,
Did you guys tie it to the site plan on that one? Or just community planning's comments?
and,
Yeah.
and also, yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't do the site plan? Okay.
So the next item is number, it'll take a minute. Okay. Next item is number 15, 184A Albany Avenue. This is to alter the existing 2.5-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a new rear 2-story addition and a rear third floor addition with a Juliet balcony. They're asking for one variance. And on this, we also receive a copy of the survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the property, and a cover letter from the agent. We have 5 signature petition in support, all in Albany Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Yes.
One variance.
Yes, one variance, yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Branko Mladen of Architects. I am the agent of the owners. My address is 314 Vaughan Road, Toronto.
Yes. It is quite a straightforward application. I will check whether we require presentation from you first. No? No, we do not require a presentation. Anyone has any question?
No.
No, we do not have any question. Okay, we are ready to move this into discussion. Do you have anything specifically you want to address the panel?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, now we are in committee. Yes. Okay, Ms. West, yes.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. As you mentioned, it's very straightforward. I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with, sorry, it's number 15.
Yeah, I don't think that any.
No condition,
no
no staff
condition.
condition.
Yes,
No,
no
thank you.
condition. Anyone want to second that motion? Ms. Wilkins, a second. And all in favor? Yeah, all in favor, approve with no conditions. Thank you. Next item, number 16 is 206 Heath St West. This is to alter the existing 1-story auxiliary building, which is a garage, by constructing a second-story addition, which will be cantilever on the east and south sides to contain a 2-car garage on the ground floor and a 1 garden suite on the second floor. On this, we have received a copy of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 6 photographs of trees and decision affecting the subject property, and presentation material from the consultant, planning consultant. Comment we received from transportation and community planning, and we have 2 forms of support from Heath Street. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, it's Tay Rook, planner for the owners of the property at 206 Heath Street West. I am at 18 Yonge Street.
Okay. You're looking for 6 variances. Let me check with the panel whether you don't have any oppositions here. So we check whether we require a presentation first. No? Do you guys have anyone that have questions?
I do have a question.
Please go ahead.
Are you aware of the planning condition to tie it to an elevation so that there is some bike parking?
Correct, sir. And bike parking has been provided at the rear of the building and is shown on the rear elevation, 3 spaces, and we have no issues with it being tied to plans.
Okay, any other questions? No, we don't have any more questions. We are ready to move this into committee. Do you have anything you want to address the panel first?
I'll just be very brief. The variances before you are somewhat unique because this is a unique situation. You'll note that the property or the existing garage is set down in what I'll call a pit, as the slope of the property is higher at the front and dips downwards towards the northeast corner at the back. As a result of that, the addition, if approved and constructed, would be similar in terms of massing and height with the adjacent garage if there is to be a garden suite in terms of massing and the way it would present to the adjacent neighbors. You'll note that 208 has provided letters of support and they have no issues with the application. And there's significant setback at the rear of the building at 7.5 meters. So the adjacent dwellings to the north would not be impacted by this proposal. Any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
No, we don't have any more questions. Now, we are in committee now. Yeah. I agree. In the beginning, I thought that because of the 45 angular plane penetration, I thought, oh, maybe affect the neighborhood. But then I look at the photograph, this is a little garage at the way end of a very wide driveway, and it's got, and also it goes down. I do not think it will impact the neighbors too much.
Yeah, and also there's no opposition from the neighbors, which sort of speaks to that. The only variance that had concerned me initially reading through the agenda was this bike parking one, but that's been addressed.
Mm-hmm. So, anyone want to make a motion or more comments?
Sure, I'll move to approve, subject to the planning condition.
Yes, anyone, 1 second? Yes, Mr. Wilkins second, and all in favor with the planning conditions. All in favor, approve with the condition.
Through you, Madam Chair, just for item number 14, 97 Spruce Hill Road, Mr. Gosh, you declared an interest. We just need a reason so that it's for public record.
It's not an interest. I recused myself again due to a past professional issue.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then it is 1:26. The members will break for 1 hour and we'll reconvene at 1:30 for our afternoon session.
Okay.
Thank you.